Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, telling you, yeah, the truth, You have to go back to the roots, go to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
What I can tell you about steps the United States might take in response is that we are undertaking a review of our relationship with Uganda in light of this decision.
But Museveni remains unperturbed.
The outsiders cannot dictate to us. This is our country, this is our society, this is our future. It is not anybody's future. The outsiders will have to live with us, or if they don't want, they take their aid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Rat Moyes, Audrey, and all of you that are hanging in the cloud, welcome to the Afridamus Report. So Ghana is going to get a level 3 travel advisory like Jamaica. That makes sense. In fact, I have a video to show all that. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't been aware, Ghana, the Ghanaian parliament have passed, they're going around, they're saying in the West, in America, they're calling it, anti-LGBTQ bill. But really, is that what this is? Let's take a good look at what is happening here. This didn't just start. This started with Obama, during Obama's time. First, Obama went to Senegal. He was in Senegal, Kenya. There's like a popular video, that video went viral when Obama was in office, when he went to Kenya and started lecturing, trying to lecture to the Kenyan president about, how they should, push for LGBTQ to be in the forefront. Pretty much you can see here in the United States, they've pretty much you would say they've succeeded. They've gotten the people on the edge. They got the black people here, on the bandwagon, because since it's coming from the United States, the experiment is on the blacks. But a lot of blacks, even here, still, they cannot get the black people on board. But there is tons of them that are on board, that are already mentally, programmed to be a part of this. So it's a lifestyle. For example, in the United States, they've passed laws saying it's okay for man and man to marry woman and woman, and a man can choose to be a woman, vice versa. In fact, they, like when Biden came, because like I said, this started with Obama, right? After Trump swept him out of there, all that shenanigans, kind of quieted down. So they brought it back again. So this is an agenda. We are seeing, like, if you watch my other show about Nkechi Diallo, used to be Rachel Dolezal. In fact, they charged that woman, with a crime for seeing herself as black and representing herself as black. What happened to the freedom? What happened to people being whoever they want? But obviously, that's not the case here. The Biden administration, I would say the American government, they deal with the Middle Easterns. They do business with Saudi. In Saudi Arabia, LGBTQ is punishable by death. Qatar, all these Arab nations, you don't see the United States government, even though they've filled up, this government with the, people who identify as same-sex lovers or people that say a man would say they're a woman. They force you to accept this. So us, the Africans, we come here to the United States, many, and you see this, you're like, man, this is a crazy culture. This is a crazy way of thinking. But you're not trying to be in anybody's way. You're like, look, this is what they're into. This is their law. You step out of their way. You're like, look, when I go to my country, I'll be myself. We follow our cultures, our rules, because wherever you go, people have their own moral standards. People have their own culture. The point is, unless now the United States, because now it's in the open, they are not only messing with African countries. They started with Uganda. The Ugandans don't want to be gay. I'm sure there are some who are there, but they are way in the minority. The people they were living their lives with no problem. But it is alarming for, because people think, oh, these countries are just bigoted, because that's what they want to do. They want to create a divide and conquer tactic, like they did here in the United States. For example, in the US, most people that work for government, you have to acknowledge, quote unquote, what they call pronouns. Like before I wasn't even, I'm like, what is this? I was sitting in a meeting. This is many years back. So I saw all these signs they put, he, she, or whatever. So we were at a round table. They go around. When you introduce yourself, you have to say, oh, Afridamus, he pronoun, or she pronoun, whatever. So all these people were doing that. I didn't tell them they couldn't do this. But for me, I'm not used to that. I'm not getting in anybody's way. But if this is how you roll, cool. You can roll that way. But you cannot force me to go along. But the United States, I'm just giving you a background, how they started conditioning and forcing the people here. People think this economic sanction is only being pushed on Africans. Most people, all these people you're seeing coming out here, even this quote unquote celebrities, popular people that come out embracing this type of saying, oh, we embrace this lifestyle. But you see, these people are in regular, traditional, situations. They have wives, kids, and, but yet they come out and say, oh, we have to push and promote this. And when every study that you read shows you that, people that practice this are in the minority. So you start asking yourself, why are they pushing this on not only people in the States? Because if you work somewhere for these corporations and you don't adapt to these or pretend to be a part of it, you will lose your job. Even some of your popular celebrities, some of you might be like, oh man, these people have turned out, they've become sellouts, just like people like Charles Barkley. You can go watch his video talking about he is into transgender, this is his people, blah, blah, blah. That's all money talking. You go to your job, your HR person there, your co-workers that you hang out with, people pretending. It's all money. They don't want to lose that money. So the United States now, they are like, all right, we got this program over here because they are controlling the population. Exactly, Charles. And Bill Gates and others, they've been going out. These videos are out in the open. The Agenda 2050, by 2050, they want to cut the world's population. I mean, they say the world, but it's by eliminating mostly Black people. And where's the Black factory? Africa. They've tried, doing it through diseases, STDs, and Africans just keep increasing. They are like, okay, we've heard Bill Gates say this out in the open. They want to eliminate the world population, I think by billions. This is what they want to do. So now all of a sudden, they are pushing this agenda on these countries. Don't think that these countries just they woke up one day and started passing these laws. No. Let me show you how these people have been operating. Since they feel like they've succeeded here in the States, they are like, let's take it outside to the United States. They are only going to Black countries and forcing this onto them. For example, Jamaica. Let me play this and show you. This Jamaican official will tell us, what Jamaica is dealing with. Let me do my fair use here. Let's go. All right. And common sense should tell you, whenever somebody's trying to force you to go against your moral standards, your own morals, to take up their moral, know that they are opening the gates of hell on you. Because, what is it about you, your life, that you cannot just practice it on your own and the people that are into it? You have to force me and everyone else to accept it. So in America, foreign Blacks or any Black have no power to force their culture, because polygamy is illegal in the United States. You can go to prison. But in most African countries, it is legal. In fact, most American people, you cannot take your cues from most American people when it comes to these issues, because many have been conditioned to believe this. The same group of people would be outraged at, at polygamy, but okay with this because the media have done its job on the people. Jamaica is very close to the United States. I'm talking about, geographically. But the Jamaicans are still in the African, they are counted as Africans. And their culture is still similar to African culture. So it's the same. They are completely against this type of lifestyle. But let me show you here.
From the U.S. Special Envoy for LGBT Rights, Mr. Randy Berry. He was accompanied by the Senior LGBT Coordinator for USAID, Mr. Todd Larkin, to try and see what the Jamaican climate was regarding sexual rights and how they could influence change. We were able to...
Do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear what the woman is saying? They call it now, this LGBTQ thing, they are calling this sexual right. Nobody is saying you cannot, practice your sexuality, but this is a divide and conquer tactic. You bring your agenda. This is basically bullying to show like, look, we got power. We're gonna come. It's like a little boy. You impose your will on the little boy, and if the little boy refuses, you just pounce on them. So they went to Jamaica, as you can hear, to go and study and check the climate for sexual rights, because now this is being referred to as human right. Yes, this has been referred to as human right. Jamaican reggae star Buju Banton was locked up in the United States. He served a few years. You guys know that because of his song when he was 18, Boom Bye Bye, Bati Boya, I don't want to say all of it, right? That song, years later, they still want to, even though they said there was some drug charges, but they went hard on him. They went hard on him. So the US is like the moral police. They are the moral police of the world, So, but this muscle is being flexed hard on Africans. So that's why I called it sexual slavery. Are we back, into slavery? First, you put the blacks in plantation. Now you want to impose, turn the whole continent into a sex thing. So the whole thing, what they are doing is they are creating an artificial world. They are putting themselves in the position of a god. You see? So they are going to Jamaica to study, to look at what things are, so that they can come up with their own agenda. So they will force it on the Jamaicans. If the Jamaicans refuse, which they did, as you guys can see, hence the propaganda now, the propaganda on Jamaica is similar to what they have on Uganda, and Ghana is going to face the same exact thing.
Notify the public about this visit and to send a very clear message to the U.S. government that Jamaica will not be pressured into changing our values and our culture that protects the family.
The Center for Disease Control, in their own research, shared information that 2% of the population of the U.S. are men who have sex with men. And of that 2%, they account for 68% of the HIV infection. And the government of the United States spends $12 billion annually just to take care of that. I actually had to say to them that Jamaica cannot afford to spend that kind of money.
UNICEF was also found to be promoting the sexual pleasure agenda. For example, on page 89 of a UNICEF-published Sexual and Reproductive Health Manual for Pregnant Teens in Mexico, UNICEF listed situations in which one can obtain sexual pleasure that included sexual responses directed towards inanimate objects, animals, minors, and non-consenting persons.
The way they're doing this is to actually penetrate our schools. And so once it changes at the policy level, then we'll probably have no control over what is taught in the schools and who teaches it.
The material was exposed by one individual, and the entire nation got wind. And as a result of it, it had to be withdrawn.
Every well-thinking adult must be vigilant and must stand as a gatekeeper to our children's development.
And find ways to stop it from entering your country.
So you guys see that, right? That is Jamaica. So already they've, like, just like you guys remember Obama going to Africa, quote unquote, at the time, visiting, everyone saying, oh, oh, look at, Obama, the first black president, blah, blah, blah. Let me play this black pastor in the United States, Pastor Jennings, many years ago, Pastor Jennings talked about this, and he continued to talk about this. Everyone sees, like the gates of hell have been opened upon, Africans wherever they are on this earth. Because you see, Jamaica has been treated exactly like the African nations. And the Jamaican woman just warned, she sent a warning, do not let this into your country. I told you, I remember when even here in the States, they would say, oh, such and such just came out of the closet. It was a big deal. They put it on the news. They're like, love is love. People just want to love each other. To now, you are reading it on the UNICEF pamphlet. They can do anything. They can do it to, like it didn't only stop with two adults of same sex wanting to do whatever they do. Now they've opened it. It's like open season on children too. They can do whatever. You can go read all of this online. So if UNICEF, imagine the UNICEF is behind this, controlling this, most African nations are doomed because they believe in this UN thing. They believe in UNICEF coming there, quote unquote, pretending to help the kids, So at this point, the only conclusion you can truly come to is they want to, use, these sexual, drastic, degenerate sexual activities to reduce the African population. Let's hear what Pastor Jennings said here. Let's go. Guys, please hit, don't forget to hit the like. Hit the like.
Space in Uganda.
No, sorry, that's Uganda. Give me a minute here.
When Barack became president, he tried to force Africa to accept same-sex marriages, and African governments said, we don't allow that stuff here. And Barack sanctioned Africa. Well, Biden duplicated the same thing. Biden said the same thing, trying to force Africa, different countries of Africa, to accept same-sex marriages, and if those countries don't, he will sanction them, starve them. How in the world men knocking up men mean so much to America that you will use your power to starve a baby, starve a woman? country want to uphold God's law.
So this is, have you noticed? This is why people like him, religion in general, like in the United States, they've removed prayer, like saying the name of God in schools, because there's a separation of church and state. And some of you running around talking about, oh, yeah, that makes sense. How does that even make sense? If you are not into God, for example, that's you. You don't have to do the prayer. But why do you want to chastise and criminalize people who are about God? So they've succeeded in the United States. So this is a demonic movement, as you guys can see. They are willing, just like he's saying. I'm not talking about just the ordinary gay people. There are people who have the power. They are willing to sanction countries like they're doing with Uganda, like they are campaigning against Jamaica. Ghana now is going to join that. And I don't know why they're going after Ghana so hard. Nigeria have, stricter laws than Ghana. Even Kenya have stricter laws. But why are they fixated on Ghana? Does this even have connection to do with so many of the even quote unquote year of return black people coming into Ghana? Is that part of the infiltration? Because right now, whatever you're into, pray for Ghana, because Ghana is under serious threat. This is why it's very important for African nations to fight, to stand up for themselves, be independent. Because the same way they force the people here in America to accept this, because some people, oh, it's just morality. No, it's not. These people are accepting this because of money. People don't want to lose their jobs. People don't even want to lose, their quote unquote, even AdSense on YouTube, for example. So now what they are doing is, how they they try to push this on Uganda, for example, right? Here, let me show you Uganda here. Give me a second.
That makes identifying as queer of any sort illegal. I grew up in Ghana, and I do speak the language, and I'm very familiar with this sort of thing. And I want you guys to know, because a lot of you in my following will color are queer and are Ghanaian, or just any sort of African or black. This is a horrible attempt at erasure funded by US-backed missionary groups. It's unfortunate that they'll never be able to go home and be safe again. That makes me really sad. But I want you to know that you're not alone, and that we do still exist despite the consequences of this. And at the very least, you have some friends and family, and me, and everyone else.
So this is a Ghanaian guy. I don't know if it's maybe just the guy doesn't have an accent, right? He is like, oh, now I can never go back. I can never go back to Ghana, So, he is sad. He said he grew up. He didn't say if he grew up in Ghana. He said he knows the language and all that. So, for example, remember in the past when they said human rights violations are taking place in African countries, I mean, the United States and others, they just say, the people that are on their side, the people they agree with, they always say, hey, fly over, come to our country, we will give you asylum. He's already in the United States. This is acceptable in the United States. The guy should just live in the United States. So this is the type of things they are creating in these different societies. Divide and conquer. Because this Ghanaian guy, quote unquote, we can't confirm nor deny if he's even truly a Ghanaian. It's just so ironic that it's suspicious to me, like Ghana, just passed this, and all of a sudden now you got people like him coming out, making these videos. If the man is truly about this lifestyle and he is Ghanaian, he knows, like, okay, in Ghana, you can't do this openly in Ghana. But there's a reason why Ghana is passing this bill. So they create divide and conquer. Let me show you another guy who is claiming to be a Ugandan homosexual. That's right. So they got these people now coming out. It's like, they are the minority in society. So with the backing of the US, and these people are just being used, as a tool to harm, the majority in these societies. Here is a Ugandan homosexual crying.
There's a lot of things in Africa that are not working, like inequitable distribution of resources, jobs, social amenities, youth development, people's safety, that the African government should be looking into. Nevertheless, as a gay person myself, it is imperative for me to speak against these anti-gay laws in Uganda and all over Africa. It is also about human rights. It is about our humanity. The African governments should be aiming for equality for all, safety for all, and high standard of living for all, not these draconian laws that harms its citizens. On a second thought, just because you are not gay does not mean it is not a problem for society. Science says that 10 to 15% of the population on all the continents are queer. That means that a big population of the people that live in Africa have to live a lie or be discriminated against. Simply put, you don't have to be poor to empathize with or care for poor people.
So you heard the man. So he is saying his human right is being trampled on, and they inflate these statistics now, just like they did here in the United States, to try to say, like they would inflate the percentage to say so many people are part of this lifestyle. How do we know this? But just like Ghana did, before I come to Ghana, let me show you Uganda. Uganda was the first one. Uganda, passed it. This became controversial. They threatened Uganda, and Uganda is not backing down. Let me show you in the parliament of Uganda the discussion they had before they passed this. And so pretty much what they are saying, the United States is letting these countries, African countries, know, look, you don't have the right or the power to teach the values you want in your country. You don't have the power to teach your children what you want. So these lawmakers are standing up. They are standing up against this, because you see what they are doing is, just like you heard those two people, they're going to come out here and pretend like, oh, it's such an emergency, their life is in danger. So they try to shame you, to try to cater to your feelings. That's what is happening. So these lawmakers in these various countries, for example, this man that claim he is Ugandan, is a Ugandan gay rep, he said he's gay. If he is gay in Uganda, I'm sure he was gay for a while, because he's got the accent for sure. Not the Ugandan accent, but he's got the list. So that means he was doing his thing there on the cover with his own people. Nobody bothered him. But now he wants you to support this. He wants you to support this. And you're from a society, you understand that the P is against the moral standards of that society. Every society has something that is standard to them. But you notice with African nations, people like to come and try to say, oh, don't Africa have so many problems they should be focused on? Good. Fine, Africa might have problems. So now you want to add this onto the African problem? So before I get to Sam George, the Ghanaian MP that laid it out sensibly, intelligently, before I get to him, let's hear the Ugandan parliament, what they said prior. And then we'll show the US what the US is talking about against them. So Museveni passed the law. He's like, this is not going to happen. The parliament passed it and he signed it. So now we go to Ghana. Ghana did the same thing. You guys remember there was a Kenyan journalist, quote unquote, because you see when, CNN and now this, all this media, which they are probably controlled by the same group of people, what do? They would come and be like, okay, they would send like an African person to, quote unquote, pretend like they are there to interview you, but they are not there to interview you. They want to make you look stupid in front of their audience because, they are not getting you to play to the audience where you come from. They want to bring you in front of, a society that already accepted this, mind you. I mean, at what point is this going to be about respect? Let's ask ourselves that question. I mean, Africans are not coming to United States telling the United States what to do. They're not telling American citizens what to do. But the United States is treating these countries like they are the 51st, 52nd state of this country. There is so many things, quote unquote, they say Africa needs help with, African countries. But, oh no, you can't help Africans with it. But you want to impose this on Africans. So here we go. Sam George is not having it.
And it is under the theme, Our Democracy, Our Pride. And I sit here and ask myself, what is the state of our nation? Are we proud of our democracy? Because, Mr. Speaker, when the president looks at us as a nation and tells us that he is more concerned about the so-called friends of Ghana, and for that reason, the sovereignty of this parliament is being called into question relative to the family values bill that we have passed. Mr. Speaker, I am truly worried the kinds of friends the president keeps. Because the president, Mr. Speaker, my friends will not blackmail me. My friends will not blackmail me with money. So if we are being told that today, and if you read the president's statement, he says that he's giving the friends of Ghana assurance that he is not going to hasten to assent to a bill that this sovereign parliament has passed on representing the will of the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, it leaves me with just one quote that I am going to read with your permission from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey says, the Negro who lives on the patronage of philanthropists, is the most dangerous member of our black society, because he is willing to turn back the clock of progress when his benefactors ask him to do so. If the Negro is not careful, he will drink in all the poison of modern civilization and die from the effects of it. Mr. Speaker, let us urge our president to be mindful of cultural imperialism.
Honourable member, your time is up.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Could I take you to Africa for a few?
Yeah.
So, you guys heard that. That's Sam George, right? He is sending this message to Nana Akufo because I guess Nana Akufo's argument was, these are our friends, I guess Ghana's friends. So he's saying that's dangerous. So here we go. Let's hear this.
Ghana, I know there was a statement that you issued last night on the anti-LGBTQ bill. Just to follow up on that, if my understanding is that the president, Akufo-Addo, hasn't signed it yet, are there talks with Ghana trying to stop this from becoming law? And if it comes to fruition, is there a sense of what the repercussions, if any, could be from the U.S.?
So we have made very clear what our opinion is on that law. You can look at my statement yesterday, and we have made that clear in private conversations with the government of Ghana as well. I don't think I should get any more specific than that, but if this bill becomes law, it would certainly have a chilling effect on foreign investment and tourism in Ghana. You've seen that same chilling effect bear fruit in Uganda, which passed a very similar law in the past. And I can say that should the bill pass, it would potentially have ramifications on U.S. assistance in the country.
Sure. Just a couple more in Africa.
Yeah.
You guys heard that, right? So it's not even a secret anymore. Is all out in the open. So we gotta ask the question. I mean, are these nations even nations? Are the African countries, are they countries? Because clearly this, it looks like they're using, U.S. wealth to try to, beat these nations with it. So clearly, how can Ghana and other countries call the US their friend? Why would your friend try to force you to do things you don't want to do? Why would your friend force you to go against your own moral standard and moral belief system? Clearly, the United States government right now, either it is infiltrated by a group of people that just want to, destroy everyone, or they just want to destroy certain societies. We don't know whose agenda is being pushed at this point, because people thought this was just gonna, stay within the confines of the United States. Because people used to be, oh man, these crazy American white people, look at them doing this. Now this is coming straight to Africa. You heard this man threatening Ghana. Like, hey, we're gonna pull our money and all that, like they did with Uganda. Let's see what Sam George, his response is to this. The man is the one that is way more vocal. The Ghanaian president is not as vocal about it, but I would hope that he signs the bill. I think he's going to do the will of the Ghanaian people. Ghana is a sovereign nation. That's what we think. We say Ghana is independent, is free. So Ghana's government must do what the Ghanaian society, wants the government to do. They have to, pass laws and protect, the moral standards of those nations, their culture. This right here, this is cultural imperialism. You guys thought like like, because people like to say, oh, colonialism have ended and all. No. Right now, we are watching it happen as we speak, right in front of our face. The United States is willing to, they are willing to, openly say, oh yeah, we're going to put sanctions on you if you people do not, do as we say. So this is why Africans, even blacks all over, these black nations, the best bet for black nations is for Trump to win, because he would leave all these countries alone. Clearly, first it was Obama that tried it. Obama was removed. Now you got Biden. Biden used to be Obama's VP. Now he continues with it, because you see, these people had their 16-year plan. So Trump coming in, Trump totally destroyed that. Why aren't they going to the Middle East? You guys remember they just had the World Cup in Qatar, and they arrested, those people that try to impose that, this lifestyle on the people there. It did not go well over there. And did you hear them use the same language? Did you hear them come out and say, oh, we are going to pull our money, we're going to put sanction on them? None of that. None of that. But most of you have been brainwashed to say, oh, Trump, the things he's writing on Twitter, they say, oh, your president should not write it. Most of you you've never even read it. You know nothing about it. But be mindful. Look at the same group of people that are telling you who to hate. They are telling you you should hate such and such and such. What are those people doing to you to even want you to hate them? But they are doing things to you that gives you every reason to want to hate them. So here we go.
My wife in my bedroom. But when you decide to bring what is supposed to remain in the privacy of your bedroom into public space, then public policy will apply to you for people who choose to have sex, men who choose to have sex with men. And so the government had to spend $200 million. We're dealing with getting enough beds for our women to give birth when they are pregnant. We should now begin to divert those resources to stitch up the backsides of men who have chosen to go and have sex with men when they begin to have anal tears and anal warts. The people who lose their identity have lost their nation. Ghana is not the 51st state of the United States. Tell the American people, you either do business with us on our terms or you can walk. American businesses that operate in Ghana are not in Ghana because of LGBTQ. They are in Ghana because they make a profit. If you think that because we are protecting our cultural values and saying no to LGBTQ, you want to lose $100 million in profit, pack up and go. Africa must begin to assert our rights. We're not puppets and stooges of the West. And it's just the sheer hypocrisy of America and the West. Carter buys over $1 billion of military hardware every year from America. The punishment for homosexuality in Qatar is death. In Nigeria, the punishment in your law for same-sex marriage is 14 years imprisonment. The maximum in Ghana's law is just 3 years. Has Nigeria's economy collapsed? The American economy would not run and the Western economies would not run without African raw material. Why should Ghanaian cocoa and Nigerian cocoa be traded on the New York Stock Exchange? I mean, a bank should not be threatening the customer and saying, I won't give you a loan if you don't do what I want. If I don't come to you for a loan, you don't turn a profit. The CDC says that homosexuals are 400% more likely to be suicidal. The young man who walked into a school in the United States 3 months ago and shot up 22 kids was transgender. And this all came from a mental disorder because of him having undergone a gender change or gender reassignment when he was 8 years old. Even on the African continent, which country has the highest crime rate? South Africa. Why? Because they've embraced homosexuality as one of the growing factors in that country. So companies like DSTV, for example, will have to be careful about the kind of movies that they show in Ghana. The kind of content you show on TV must be censored. You cannot be a social media influencer and creating content that is contrary to the laws of the land. The punishment for advocacy is the strictest punishment in the bill. The punishment for advocacy is higher than the punishment for the act itself.
You guys heard that. That's Sam George, the MP. Look, again, every society is, has their own moral values. You cannot come and impose it on the people and say, oh, if you don't do it, we're going to pull our business. He's right. Like, you cannot force your values on the person. Like, if you don't like it, you can just pack up and leave. I mean, guys, come on, man. Like, this is crazy. Let's just be real. I mean, it's one thing to do it in America, but it's another thing to try to force it on other people. Like in America, you can have guns, Second Amendment. Why don't they go and force other countries and be like, look, man, we are going to force you and give you tons of guns. You see? So they know what they are doing. This cannot be good for these countries. Let's just be real. This cannot be good for these countries. And if the people who feel like, okay, these laws are very drastic, maybe the United States should start accepting them as LGBTQ refugees and give them that status. Trust me, there will be tons of Africans that will be willing to leave that continent and come there. But the reality is, just like he said, the media, the type of media that is promoted in the country, in every country, especially for vulnerable populations, like in Africa, has to be censored. Like, how can anyone disagree with this? Right? I mean, what works in America cannot work everywhere else. We like to, mostly talk about the quote unquote, the French in the African quarter. But the United States, the policy right now that is being pushed, this policy, is definitely is detrimental to African nations. And shout out to Sam George for standing up to this. We have Ola. Ola, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Thank you for coming in. Ola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Ola, you seeing what is happening in the US is threatening, Ghana, Uganda, Jamaica, pretty much all these black nations that are saying, look, we are not going to accept this lifestyle. We are not about to be your sex slaves, because you see what they are trying to do is trying to, turn these places into the tourism area for this type of lifestyle, or, to try to, control the population. What do you think about, Ghana's stance on this issue?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. You see, let me start with Africa first, because Jamaica for me is still a little bit still far. I can't trust Jamaica that Jamaica will not pass that law one day. You understand?
No, but you hear this, their officials, like
Yeah,
Jamaicans, they are not playing with this right now. Do you know they are using propaganda against them?
Understand? Because they didn't go, look, a country that it will be very difficult in Ghana. I think it might be far more easier in Jamaica for the law to be passed, because Jamaica have other race that they can use.
Right.
They can use against them.
Right.
And those race, if we can get 5 or 10 of those other races to come out, to say we are minority, want our rights, and they will use that word as what they use in America called civil rights.
Right. Yes. You know, they've turned this into the new civil rights.
Okay. So in South Africa, that's what they did in South Africa. Because South Africa have other race, the other race came out, that now become a civil right. So South Africa, that's what surprised South Africa sort to have a lot of mouth and a lot of side of them also. That's why they never really trust them. You understand? In Ghana, it'll be difficult, but that doesn't mean that beggar, that traitor, that betrayer as their president,
Nana Akufo,
that would not do something funny. You know why? Because he loves money a lot. You see him without his eyes, that his head. He's a funny man. He's a trickish man.
But you see, do you think he is brave enough to try Ghanaians? Because I did look. Some of the things I've seen the Ghanaian, the interviews they've asked Ghanaians. Like I've seen a lot of interviews, so I can't even play it here because if I play how happy some of them are and the things they are saying, this stream would be taken down. So
let me tell you the truth. This business, that man is already being bought.
That's true.
You understand me? That guy, that president of Ghana is already being bought. It's a man with different faces and different color of coats. Look, for him to say Ghana need reparation, Ghana need this, that year of return was being staged by him and his own people. Why do you think all this America? Look, Black America will be used against us one day. I swear to my heavenly Father. If you think out of the blue, Black Americans just know Africa, they were coming back home. A lot of these so-called returning home Black Americans are spies, guys from the underground, So don't you want to say? Say they will block tourism to come into Ghana. Because that is a new trick. That is a new trick on Ghana side now. That year of return is a pawn.
Because the LGBTQ have hijacked the Black civil rights movement, like Chukwa is saying. Over here, in America, they equate, like they would make the argument that, being gay is the same thing as being like Black. They said they suffered the same way like Blacks.
All the celebrities they say to Ghana.
Yeah,
don't be surprised. We're not seeing that majority.
Now I'm beginning to see that's all part of the propaganda because
majority of them are gay. We even see the one who shake it down. We even rock it with shake the feather. Everybody's dancing with, all these guys that are singing hip hop. We're all flowing with. All these guys are under the ground, something else. All the celebrity going to Ghana. Oh, Ghana is so where did that kinte? You see, that's why I say Ghana is a funny place. This man just making noise. He just making noise. That their president have become a something else. It's a man never. If you talk, just pour water to look. Just allow him to talk. Believe that you open his mouth. What comes out of his mouth is zero.
So, do you think he's going to sign this bill?
He will not sign it.
And if he doesn't sign it, because, like, for example, if he doesn't sign it, because you see, like, Ghanaians, for example, like this Sam George is very vocal. There's many other people. There's another guy named, I think, Prempe, or, there's other people like him. And also now this is seeped into the general public's, psyche, and they are rejecting it. So do you think he would go against, the people's will?
He will not sign it. and he will ask them to bring money to buy the other ones off. Only those two guys will be making noise. You will say they sign it. There's already law in Ghana. And what you should understand is this: how did it come back out of the blue? Black America now become the center face of Ghana, and the way Ghana play a trick, you see, that's why I said Ghana sometimes use other Ghanaians in America to promote their so-called year of return. Oh, I'm an American coming back home, but most of them are Ghanaian Americans.
Yeah, like this guy here. Do you think, for example,
that guy that is speaking, that's a Black American guy.
This guy here. Hold on, let me show you.
And I'm very familiar with this sort of thing. And I want you guys to know, because a lot of you in my following will color are queer and are Ghanaian, or just any sort of African or Black. This is a horrible attempt at erasure funded by US-backed missionary groups. It's unfortunate that we'll never be able to go home and be safe again.
So he's saying this is sponsored by US,
do you see,
for example, the Christian group, as if Ghanaian people, don't have their own moral standard. So do you think he's fake Ghanaian?
That guy's a fake Ghanaian. Ghana is using fake Black Americans to run their so-called come home and buy a year of return and everything. So they're using it against them right now. All the card they were playing, this ugly man that is their president, is that fake president, that fake man that is called himself fake Pan-Africanism. It's fake. That's why Julius Malema is also fake also. You understand me? All these fake guys, these men that speak by behind the two double man. Let me tell you one thing there. Black America will be the downfall of Africa. They will use. They try to see. That's why Black America also going to Tanzania, but you do work in Tanzania because Tanzania is a little bit Arabic and a little bit kind of funny place also. So Tanzania is not into this Black American society coming to say Shupiru or whatever they come in there. They don't like them at all. When they see them as West Africans, so their game, why they succeeded in Ghana, coming to Ghana, these Black Americans, is because Ghanaians look like them, and it's an agenda. And that agenda, I told you, look, if they want to deal with Africans, they will send these Black Americans to deal with us. You understand?
So did you hear the U.S. government official what he said? They are going to do.
They will stop tourism and stop. They will not give the guy that $30 billion. If the second one is asking for that, he will eat in his mouth. Look, let me tell you one thing. Most guys that are coming to Ghana, all these so-called Black Americans, even those who pretend to be Hebrew Israelites, you understand me? Black Americans have been drained into gayness, and that is their culture in a way. They accepted it, and it's part of them. You understand me? Forget all this pretending. They will use it to drain us. You understand me? When Ghana wanted to pass this law, who were crying first? No, that one boy in Tanzania, or what big mouth Black American guy. So Ghana is now a capital of LGBT in West Africa.
But but it's funny. Do you know, like in your own country, Nigeria have the same laws? Why aren't they saying anything about Nigeria?
They wanted to force it on Goodluck Jonathan because he was soft. Goodluck said no, because Goodluck told them, look, it will never happen because even the traditionalists are against it, the Muslims are against it, the Christians are against it, and Nigeria is not like asking for go towards the back and be trying to betray other nations to get anything. You understand me? To say anything. Let me tell you one thing. They could not push it, but they use it against Jonathan in that brought Ubuhari into power. They refused to sell military equipment to Jonathan. But when Ubuhari came, because Ubuhari said, I'm a Democrat, I will do everything. When Ubuhari came, they thought Ubuhari is like a jihadist. You want a jihadist to come and sign a law of say where he's coming from. You know that the jihadists are full those areas, but are full those people. He could not. So Ubuhari disappointed them. You understand? Even Tinubu will not even both put his pen and paper in that thing. You understand me? Because they will eat it up. But Ghana, I say, is a funny place. It's
Yeah,
funny.
but I understand what you're saying, but you know, when it like if he wants, he can do that, right? But you know, the Ghanaian sentiment on the streets, do you think Nana Akufo will be able to handle that? Like that would be his downfall.
He will not sign it, and nothing will. He will not. He will. You see, he said, I will not rush to sign it. That means he will not sign because he expected some money. Possibility he has some money for his children in the United States. You understand me? Look, let me just tell you the truth. Look, all what you're seeing now, Ghana is playing a cycle. This cycle. This cycle, jamboree, yeah. Lions are jumping around there's a man holding the whip. You know, Ghanaians are the lions. Why the man
You
holding the
know,
whip?
you know what, Kidola, you might be onto something here. Let me show you guys. You know, somebody sent me this video. Okay, they sent me the video, and they were like, "Hey, check this out. What some of these guys are doing." You know, in other countries. Here, give me a second. Oh, okay. Give me a second. Yeah. Let me try to share this. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So let me handle. So what I'm trying to say is, you see, May came to Ghana. Now he want to become a Ghana citizen. Because in America, he's facing a lawsuit for being unprofessional by touching other men, or professional. He's being included to a lawsuit with a P Diddy by somebody. So he's looking for the escape route now to come to Africa. McMill, I take God beg you. You can never be second Obama. If you
wait. You said McMill is doing what?
McMill is looking for Ghana citizen now for exit point.
Yeah.
And McMill is into a lawsuit as a code with P Diddy, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Say it's something against them, whatever they're doing that is not professional, that the guy said he's not part of. You understand me? Now he said, I would love to be a Ghana citizen. McMill will understand that Ghana man, the president, can be your friend. I'm sorry to say, maybe the Ghana people will not want you because your news have already broken out. You would have keep it down low. Whoever said you keep it down low. Don't come and flag the flag in Ghana. You can flag the flag somewhere with Kofi Adu if you're not signing it. And that Ghana president will not sign it because the guy love money a lot. He like his Rolls Royce, he like his Bentley. He loves. He don't forget that man.
Wait. Is McMill also gay? Like, is he been like? I saw videos of him online, you know, trending. But like, is he like?
You see, when they came to Ghana, he put a Ghana girl on his back, but behind the scene, he's doing something else to the opposite side. So what you're seeing now is, I believe now, I thought Black Americans were far more like Africans, and I believe Black Americans are far more like the other side, and they will use them.
But here's what Guan Man is saying. He said, if he doesn't sign it, the parliament can pass the bill without him.
They will use the money. They will use money to close the other ones. Those two men will be the only one there.
No, but they already, Kidola. I don't think Ghana will have the audacity to not pass this.
Because you deal with a man that is very trickish, a man that wants to sort year of return to nonsense, and today he brought threatening of being sanctioned. You see, Uganda accept a lot of for missionaries, a lot of kind of foreign people to his country.
Right.
That man is a militant, but Ghana president is not as militant as that man. So what you see now with Ghana greed and Ghana way of doing things, the leg of LGBT, it will now have some kind of foundation in West Africa. Bet you home of Black Americans will not be a center of something else. That's where.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, that's crazy. But let me bring in Andre. Andre, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Andre, are you there?
Yeah, Afridamus, can you hear me?
Andre, so what do you think about the United States trying to impose their, these LGBTQ, lifestyle on African countries, the Caribbean? What do you think about this and Ghana's stance?
Afridamus, what I think is Ghana has the upper hand at the moment. Ghana should accept the law. The parliament should sign it because Biden is going. If he sanctions you, it's gonna be only for a month because you're gonna have a new leadership. You're gonna deal with new people. You shouldn't be scared about Biden's government because Biden is he's the biggest failure.
Yeah, but even let's say even if that's not the case, shouldn't Ghana be able to stand up to them as a nation, just like Uganda is doing?
Yeah, they should, but they're just gonna use their power. They're really powerful. They're gonna economically sanction you. They have the European Union is gonna do that. So the European Union is a coalition that acts like the Americans. They usually follow. Ghana, Africans, we should ask ourselves, when Muslim countries sign these kind of laws, they're not spoken about, but
Why do you think they're talking about Ghana and Uganda? Why are they trying to, shine more light on them and trying to give harsh punishment to them? What is that? Why do you think that is?
Because they're African. That's why.
But Nigeria has the same laws. Nigeria even have stricter law. Kenya has those laws, and obviously there's no way they would go talk to Somalia. We know this. I mean, in all these other countries, pretty much have this they're against it. So at this point they are just trying to force it on the people.
The answer to that is the poor man gets bullied, and America is the bully. Where Nigeria has a lot to offer, they wouldn't sanction them because it's gonna hurt them back.
Okay, sweet. All right, let's bring in Judah. Judah, are you there?
Oh yes, Freedom. Can you hear me?
Yes, Judah. What do you think about what the United States is doing to Ghana and these other African countries?
It's rather unfortunate that Africans and these African countries they gain independence, but did not actually gain independence. Instead, they fought for dependency with the white man. Once you fought for dependency instead of independence, it means you are depending on somebody for everything, for food, for a lifestyle, for improvement, to eat, and all of that. So he who you depends on controls you emotionally, financially, politically, and everything. And we have actually seen that most of these sub-Saharan African countries have never gained independence. They have been on the same level of dependency. You cannot put the North African countries with the sub-Saharan African countries on the same pedestal. The ones up north have a higher IQ. They have moved from dependency to independent. The white man doesn't control them like they do us down south. Now let me come back to Ghana. Because of grading, look, I don't mind the United States putting sanctions on Ghana.
You don't, you don't mind it? Okay.
No,
I want to hear it. Okay, go ahead.
It's none of my concern. These guys, when they were benefiting from the white man, taking all these loans, getting all the the boobies and all these things coming their way. They were all happy, the year of return, building their tourist industry. Oh, Ghana is developing. Oh, Ghana is, our infrastructure. Oh, this and that. I mean, come on, man.
So do you think the people
They-
that came in the year of can eventually, do you think that's all propaganda and it's, this
yeah,
is where
it's,
they were walking their way to get the Ghanaians in this position, like to get them used to this Western blacks coming in and now to push this on them? Because, yeah.
It's not a propaganda. I mean, yeah, economy attracts the kind of people that you want them to come in. You portray to the world at large that you needed. Your economy was going bankrupt, and the people that could actually elevate your economy were a group of people that took advantage of it and elevate your economy. Now they call the bull by the horn, and now they can call the shot. You bring someone into your home and he gives you everything. He's the one that is gonna decide what kind of food he wants he wants to eat. You're gonna say, if he say he wanna eat rice and beans or rice and stew, you probably gonna make it for him. If he tells you he wants shower, you probably gonna get water for him to shower. So that's what is happening in Ghana. When they tell you that they want this law to be passed, obviously this guy has no choice. They have brought in all the money, they have given you, they have elevated your economy, so you have no choice. So I don't blame. Look, man, Ghana brought this onto them, and that's why I said Africa. Look, man, what is happening in Africa, man? If I was one of these leaders, that's why there has to be a union. That's why one time when Wodemaya was crossing into the border into Togo with African Americans, I came on this platform and said the open borders that most of these ECOWAS countries have, other countries are taking advantages of it because they bring people in, they get all the benefit, but now they want to spill it into other neighboring countries because these Ghanaians do not obey the laws of the ECOWAS. Now this is not only end up being a Ghanaian issue, it's going to be a Togolese issue, it's going to be other countries as well. So this is the problem that we have into Africa. We go out there as individual countries, bring problems to ourselves. Now the whole continent has to face it. That is a bigger issue. Ghanaians should be banned. All the neighboring countries should lock in their borders and allow Ghanaians to face their problem. Yeah, of course, and face their problems with it. Since they have enjoyed all the money without giving it to their neighboring countries, they should also face the consequences of it. That's just what it is. I don't blame what is happening in that country. The United States, if they want to go ahead and put embargo or sanctions, they should go ahead and do it. They should, yeah, they should go ahead and do it.
But Jude, what about the culture of the people? Because okay, fine, you can separate the government from the people, the moral ethics of the country, because not everybody is down with what the government is doing, playing ball, with the United States and others. So those people are in the majority. I understand, like, for example, why can't the United States just do business, and end there? But they want to force this onto people. And there's even many Americans who are against that.
Freedomus, when you say force, I'm confused. They have not gone to Morocco and forced that culture to Moroccans. Do you know why? Because Moroccans does not take advice from the United States. Moroccans are not fighting they don't have a democratic system of government like the United States. The Moroccan government or North African government do not actually depend. They don't get summoned by the Americans. Come on, man. You're talking to a people that have been dependable on Americans and the European Union or the World Bank for currencies to pay their workers. You are talking when you go in and borrow money, there are certain forms that you have to sign, memorandum of understanding. You have to accept this. You have to, come on, man. You cannot
So
go
are you
against it.
saying
Even when
So
you're in the Commonwealth, they have certain things that you have to go by to join the Commonwealth. All this, I mean, for you to actually cut yourself out of these things, you have to be totally independent, create your own system, build your own world from scratch. Do a lot of things by your own people. I mean, come on, man. You cannot be dependable, and you think you are gonna be free. So when this guy of parliament guy is coming and making all these
Sam Judge, yeah.
high rank talk, high value talk, this and that. This is just a toothless bulldog. He cannot bite. He only do the talking, but there's no action behind it.
But he
He's
wrote,
always, I
they're
mean,
gonna pass. They
no,
passed the bill.
that guy is not gonna sign it. Come on, man. He's
Wait,
being remote control, but
Judah, you don't. So Nana Akufo is not gonna sign it.
oh, come on. You talk about these guys are being remote control from behind. See, this is. Let me tell you what is happening on. You see, most guys when they talk about Africa, they actually don't know. There's a form of an indirect rule that is happening in most of these English countries, right? When you come in, you see their parliament passing law, you are happy. Oh, these guys are working for us Ghanaians. Oh, these people are talking for. Oh no, the people that are remote controlling these people are behind the scene. You don't see them. So you think you are doing the actions by yourself. No, you don't. That's why when I talked to a Nigerian guy, I was talking to him, and he was telling me, oh, we have our own naira, we have our own currency. I said, see this, Momo, you actually don't know how the world operate. There is no African country that is independent. They remote control your ass. You think you have these things, but you don't own it. They talk you down. So what is happening in Ghana is these guys are just there for publicity, to make things for their people to think they are doing the job, but they are all mumu behind the scene. One phone call, they will all stop talking, and that's just what it is.
But
Go
Judah,
ahead, man.
the people, there's a lot of people now, like Ghanaians, who are saying, sure, like this needs to be signed. They are waiting for it to be signed. So if he doesn't sign this, wouldn't that be a bit dangerous? Because the population, like now people's eyes are open to it. So even if he doesn't sign it, the regular Ghanaians are not down with this program.
Yeah, you see, the guy was saying that if America doesn't want to do business, if they sign it and American doesn't want to do business with them, they should take out their companies. I was just laughing. This guy is the thing that America just have companies, located all over the place. There's a military base as we speak in Ghana. And there are a lot of things in place. It's not only the companies that you see, it's a lot of things that is in the international scene that you don't see. I mean, this is why most of the time I think most of these African politicians are short-sighted. They don't see far. They only see what is surrounding them, what is around them, and all these things. Look, man, like I said, if they don't sign it, it's gonna, I mean, if he signs it, it's gonna be a big issue when it comes to the world stage, because Ghana have borrowed a lot of money to feed in their industries. If a lot of these companies, right now as we speak, the Jews in America call the shot, because they have established and they have put in place a lot. They have built a lot of economic system in this country. That's why if anything is happening in Israel, they can stand and say no. If America oppose them, they can call the shot on their businesses, and their businesses can drop. Now another minority are this group of people in America, even blacks, Americans, I mean, who were the minority are no more the minority in the system. So these people now have one of the biggest economic system. Most of the top dogs in America right now are in this group of set of people. So they run the international scenes, they run the national scenes, and they are now looking for plugs around the world. And people like African countries that have no money are now falling for these traps.
So, Judah, why do you, in your opinion, why do you think, because of all the things they could try to say, impose on these countries, why are they trying to force this, this thing on African nations? Like, what is your suspicion?
No, Afridemos. You shouldn't say they are forcing it on African nations. They are not forcing it on Morocco. They are not forcing it on Algeria. They are not forcing it on Al-Sisi in Egypt. They are not
Because
forcing
those
it
are
on.
Islamic nations.
They are not forcing it on Tunisia. They are not forcing. Okay, but that is the African continent that you are talking about. Now, when you come to Africa, say they are forcing it on specific countries, and these
Okay.
specific countries that they are forcing it on. I mean, you have to be specific when you analyze a lot of things.
Uganda. Because you see, this is how it starts, right?
Right.
See, they're gonna start in Ghana, maybe walk their way to a place like maybe Cameroon, who knows, or other place. It's what.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you see what happened in Uganda a few months ago or a few years ago. If you were familiar with the African American actor that went to Uganda and was talking about high IQ industry that he wanted to open.
Oh
I think
yeah. What's his name? Terrence Howard.
Doris Howard, or I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. He did not go there for an industry. He kind of see that has died down. He went to scope the area to see what was happening. And when he came back, it was one of those laws that went in place. Right now, as we speak, right now, Uganda economy is fast dropping out. There have been a lot of sanctions on Uganda. American took them out of the American trade. I think they call it. I forgot how they call it. They took them out of that trade union. Ugandans now are depending on Kenyans and other countries around it for survival because they could no longer sell most of their items and good. So I mean, and they might have a little bit of a few sanctions because the United States did not actually put more money into Uganda. But when it comes to Ghana, half of Ghana currency, Ghana owes more than they have in their own country. Gold mines in Ghana and Ghana cocoa is mostly controlled by the United States behind the scene and most of these foreign powers.
So
the
Ghana,
impact that
Ghana is done. So you're saying Ghana is done?
Of course, the impact that Ghana is gonna face is gonna be is different from what Uganda is facing. If the impact that Ghana is gonna face will crumble Ghana economy overnight if care is not taken.
So Ghana better start flying the flag then.
Yeah. They step their feet. I mean, a guy that sit on the poo on a shit hole. When he comes out of it, he I mean, you could still smell the shit in his. I mean, you could still smell the shit in his clothing. So Ghana put themselves where they are. They should face they should face the music. They should dance it. They should face the consequences. They ate all the goodies that came out of it. They should also enjoy the consequences that comes with it. So that's it.
Okay, let's bring in Kifaru. Kifaru, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thank you very much.
Kifaru, you're hearing the conversation. Kifaru, do you think Nana Akufo is going to sign this bill? A lot of the people are saying he's not gonna sign it. And what type of impact is this going to have? On Ghana. We see, Uganda already, sanctioned, and now they are threatening to do the same thing to Ghana. What do you think they're gonna sign it?
Yeah,
the
before
president.
I say anything, Ghana is a great country. Ghana is the 9th biggest economy in Africa. So whoever thinks Ghana is not doing good, then just take the 10, then the rest under them is just shithole. So Ghana is a great country. They're doing good. Their economy is really powerful. It's the 9th in Africa. So you can't just talk nonsense about Ghana. So I just want to put that out there. Then again, I don't think this bill is going to pass, because it's a very controversial bill, and even among us, like African, it's not part of our culture.
Right.
Things like this, we do know we have people in our cultures that behave certain ways. When we're young, we see people, but it was not a thing. We just know those people are like that. It was not a thing. Maybe they're just like, sometimes when we're small, we call them woman, man. So it was,
you're right.
not something that is a law. So this new trend of the West trying to make it a law, I think that's what is pissing people now more. So if these people, these gay people, could just keep their mouth shut and just doing their things on the ground, it would not be a problem. If even if they want to have a different kind of lifestyle, I think it's for the African people to have this discussion. Just the fact that you are bringing foreigners to make this decision for you, that is what is pissing Africans up. And if they don't, if they try to force this kind of law on African, people will take laws in their hand and it will be total chaos, and these gay communities would not even last. It doesn't matter what the law say. People
Right.
would still take that out of control. So again, this forcing this kind of lifestyle in Africa is just disrespect. It's gross disrespect, because as you rightly said, they don't do that to other countries. So why is it just Africa? I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I think there's an agenda. I begin to believe maybe there is an agenda towards Africa. So maybe
Yeah.
if we have a lot of gay people, that is therefore a weak economy, a weak society, you can easily come and manipulate people who think like that. I think they've tried it in some other countries where there are a lot of black people and it worked. And they say, okay, now this society is done. Let's try if we can
Well,
implement.
they've turned the blacks into it here in America
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's most of,
exactly.
because you look at it, even for example, even in some of these lawmakers in America, like for instance, they cannot even hold any other important conversation. Everything
Exactly.
has to be based on things like this,
It's
So
big
for example,
distraction.
it's like they bait you into
Yes,
conversations like it,
it's,
and if there's
exactly.
no right answer, they want to dictate the answer to you. So
It-
as far as what I know, what I've seen here in America, in the United States, I feel sorry for the Ghanaian president behind the scenes, the type of conversation he's having with these people.
Okay, yeah, I think this is the thing. I think it's not going to pass because when I listen to that, Sam, I think there's a loophole where the parliament can decide and override the president decision. So I think that's not going to pass. So again, I think African countries, we should stop. We take a lot of aids from these people, and just because we have this hand out, they think they can just tell us to do what we do because they depend on us. Anything, any bloody opposition wants to run and go to the west for protection. So when we have all these weak people always trying to corner themselves to be body with these Europeans, it's the best option for them to implement your lifestyle to us. So if we stop having this too much body, we want to be so closer to them. We need to build Africa. That's why we, the Pan-Africanists, we always insist, let's make this cordial relationship and political alliance among ourselves, because that is the only way we can free ourselves from this influence. But we don't. Everything, people want to go closer to them and they see it, and this is the best time for you to implement your lifestyle. Why is it that it's constantly disrespect? Because we want to be closer to them. I know people talking about Saudi Arabia, Morocco, but those people don't really want to be like United States. They don't want to be closer to them. We just have business relationship with them. But African or black people want to be closer to the white man. Now we want to be like we want to be like them. And that's how they use it as a loophole to implement all kind of rubbish.
Why do you think that is?
It's a complex. It's an inferiority complex that is a cancer that we need to cure it. There might be reasons for that, but we need to stop that. Like if you see all politicians, all opposition in Africa, their best friend is someone in the West. It's,
Yeah.
it's like it's someone in the West. They want to kill me around to the West. So if we have all these kind of people that want to be body with the West, it's easier for them to say, okay, if you want me to help you, you're gonna sign these laws, then I'm gonna protect you. And that's when we have people even thinking you can come to Africa and ask them to sign this law. It is not part of our society. But I think the West we need to understand that these Africans, they are a different kind of African. They are new people. We don't want that. I think they're just trying their best, because if that continent is weak, then they can come and implement. Just see, I see when I watch the US news, I see gay people that are using gay people to do advocacy for presidency. That's just rubbish. How is you going to make a gay person? Because it's weak. You can go tell them to say anything because you are the only one protecting them and they see you like your savior. That's the kind of mindset they want
But
to
you
be.
see that their goal is to create that divide and conquer because
Exactly.
eventually because they are saying this is a human right. For example, it's gonna turn just like here in the United States. Like again, like they're gonna bait you into conversations. You'll be talking about things that has nothing to do with things like that, and some of these people they turn that into an argument. For example, like they want you to talk about what they do in their bedroom. Like you don't care about that, you don't want to discuss it. You're talking about budget, they want to talk about stuff like that. So it's like it brings this society at a standstill. And I can see if they bring that into these African nations and they start succeeding, it's gonna create like a war, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're just trying, like they're just casting your bait to see
Yeah.
what they can catch. But I think that they know right down deep in them that it is difficult.
Well,
I think
Uganda
the
is
president.
Uganda. They are firing on Uganda.
Okay, but look, when I listen to this guy, he said all this economic sanction. What has Uganda changed? Has the economy changed? Okay, it does not change. I watched one guy was saying one YouTuber, and he will say something that was very good. He was talking about America sanctioning South Africa and America sanctioning Uganda. South Africa.
South Africa about what?
So, and it was about this Israel something. This
Oh,
Israel.
okay.
But he said, look, South Africa accept gay people. Uganda don't. So it's not about
Right.
you being gay or not that is sanction you. It is an agenda. So we just
Mhm.
need to stick to what is better for society and forget about this gay agenda thing, So I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it will work.
All
It's
right.
not just for
Let's
society.
bring in matter and energy. Matter and energy. Are you there?
Yes, I am. How are
All
you?
right.
Good evening.
Good evening. Matter
Can you
and
hear me?
energy. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. What do you think about?
Okay.
Where are you calling from?
Maryland. It's actually Matt Marylander, but this is a different name.
Oh,
But
okay. All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But a while ago, Jude was trying to speak about the North. Was it the North? The North.
Not Africa.
No, I thought you were talking about that thing they stopped. Never mind. Yeah, as you can see, it's they're like Trump card. Every time they say, "Oh, you're not being tolerant. Oh, we're gonna do this and do that." My thing is, why have any of these countries joined BRICS yet with Russia? I'm questioning that.
But what is that gonna do?
I mean, it's protecting Russia and the rest of the other countries that are moving away. I mean, you take away the economic power from the U.S. and right now the U.S. is losing power right now. So dollars getting weak.
I mean, the U.S. economy is pretty large, sir.
It's live, but
right now to take power from the U.S., that's not an easy task. There are tentacles is everywhere.
We're losing power. Trust me on this one. It's not what it may seem like. It may seem like we're powerful right now. We're losing wars. We just lost Ukraine. We're having a situation in Israel. We're stressed out thin. We're getting weaker. And I think the person is going to who's signing it, Ghana. I think they're going to go with the deal, but
you think so?
It's not going to last very long. I mean, and then the situation is you got all the LGBT stuff going into Africa, and another reason. Well, they're doing it here, cutting
So
off.
do you think a lot of the, like Kidola was saying, a lot of the black people that are going there, he thinks they are spies and they will be used against Africa to dirty up the culture, that part of the culture there. What do you think about that?
Some, but not all. And I don't think, I mean, black people here, we're just as upset about it as you are, like being used as pawns. Like, for example,
Right.
you see the situation that's going on in Chicago. They're
Mhm.
pretty much trying to replace black
Mhm.
people as a voting block.
Right.
That's what they're doing now.
Well, that is very clear. Only
Yeah.
a blind
As per
man can
usual.
see that.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's pretty much, and even if these LGBT people, they're also pawns as well. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't matter as long as you're in they have this thing called the cathedral, like the shadow governments and whatever. As long as you're in the high up position, they won't mess with you.
Yeah,
If you're
because
in a place of power,
the regular LGBT people don't care about wanting to go
yeah,
to
they don't.
Ghana.
They don't.
Yeah.
No one gives a damn. But it just seems like every time there's a problem, every time these countries want something, these big countries want something, you have to do this, you have to do that. They're trying to make the population weaker so they can bend to their will. It's just really a sad thing. But
But
that's all
you
I
know,
gotta say.
there's a lot of black people that support it in America, though. Yes.
No. When
Mm-hmm.
you think
Mm-hmm.
okay, I think it's primarily
Mm-hmm.
black women and some black men that do. Not everybody, you got to remember, African Americans are probably like, for the Democratic Party and for the liberals, we're the most conservative bloc, the most conservative wing of that part. We don't use, hey
Not
man,
any,
hey,
not anymore. Not anymore.
not any, well, okay, fine.
That
Politically,
ship that ship sailed away. You know,
it sailed
with
away
Obama
when
with Obama.
no, it sailed away in the 1980s when those pastors gave it up for tax write-offs. That's when it went away much earlier.
Yeah,
But
I just want to
that's
interject. I
different.
don't think African American society is more conservative as you claim. I think
No, it's not.
they are
It's
more liberal
definitely
than
not.
Okay, fine. Let me explain.
Well, it's more blacks are
It's
leftists.
politically.
Yeah,
It's
more are
politically.
leftists now. Yeah,
It's
more are
politically
left.
liberal, culturally conservative. But that's.
I think they're more liberal. I don't think they
They
are.
are
You
way
don't
more
believe?
liberal.
I mean,
What are they conserving?
if you really ask, they are, but it depends on who you bump into. I don't,
Right.
maybe in Washington, that's the case, or maybe outside of Seattle, maybe. I'm saying around here, that's a different story. They're only voting for them because they give them back to it. They're only doing that is because they're giving him welfare and all that crap. So that's what's going on. That's just me, and that's just my opinion. But you can go right ahead.
Okay. Kidola, are you there? Kidola, are you there? I guess Kidola is sleeping.
Yeah, so I just want to add, the solution to all this thing is acute Pan-Africanism within the country.
Wait, it's a what?
Acute Pan-Africanism within the continent, within the continent of Africa.
Kidola,
When we stop,
Pan-Africanism is dead, sir.
no.
Nana Akufo is a Pan-African, isn't he?
People who say that don't really understand. Maybe they have their own definition of Pan-Africanism. Maybe they're thinking Pan-Africanism is a black culture identity. That is something else. Pan-Africanism is political and economic movement. It can't die. It can never die.
What's his name? Would you say Julius Malema is a Pan-African?
Just because people say they are.
No. I mean,
they are not. They are not.
Freedoms, can I tell you something?
I can't really classify him as acute Pan-Africanist. You understand? He's more of a politician. He likes to give big speeches. Pan-Africanists do sacrifice a lot. Most of
but
them.
all of them talk though. All of them are talk.
They don't sacrifice. Most
Like when you say sacrifice, what do you mean by sacrifice?
For the people, like the sacrifice for your people, that do away with your own AMR, with their own interest to serve the interests of the people. I don't see Julius Malema doing that. You understand? Julius Malema wants to please the crowd. It doesn't actually mean if they like it or not. You just want to please the crowd. Because I was shocked to see him with a LGBTQ thing last
I think that's why you didn't want to claim him as a Pan-African.
Yes,
you knew I was gonna. You knew I was
I
about to ask you that.
Can I step into that? Hold on.
Huh?
Can I step into that? He's a leftist first off, and that's
Yes.
their ideology.
Most Pan-African people that say they're Pan-Africans are leftists. They have leftist leaning.
He said it because it's a trending thing. There's a trending Pan-Africanist, but there's actual Pan-Africanist. You might not.
No. Let me say this. The last time that was a thing, sorry to interrupt. The last time that was a fact was probably in the 40s and the 50s. That they've moved completely left. That's what happened after Garvey died, and all. Yeah. So.
Okay, let's hear from Kanye. Go ahead, Kanye. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the South Africans are the leaders like Julius Malema. He's a gay. He's not a Pan-African because this guy judges African countries. He said if he had power, he will be sanctioning these African countries that kill or against the homosexuals. He brings them into Africa, and Kifaru is claiming those people who hate African society, African culture. Kifaru, you agree? How can you agree with such a person?
Well, I think we will all agree that he is a charismatic leader and it's something different. You understand? He's a charismatic leader. He knows how to talk and pull the crowd. He's a politician that does want to get power, and because of that, he is a little bit dangerous. But Pan-African is a different kind of people. I think we don't see most of them. We don't see them as common. So that's why we confuse, politician, charismatic leaders, and Pan-Africanists. They don't really talk so much, but they're working hard to make sure the continent moves so smoothly.
I think we are confused between a Pan-Africanist and a liberal person. The role of a liberal is be open to people. See, look, I'm not gonna say gay or this. Everyone has the right to be who they are, perform what they want to do. As a liberal person, I mean, we have gotten leaders in the past who are liberal. They are open to whatever people want. And just because Malema support he's a liberal leader doesn't mean he's not a Pan-Africanist.
Right.
You can be a Pan-Africanist and be a liberal, and that's just what it is. I mean, but saying that he's not a Pan-Africanist, no, he is, because I've followed him for a long time. He has been on different platforms. He has talked about opening borders. Being black around the world is one thing that is unique, and he has dealt. So when people are confusing between being a Pan-African and him being a liberal, I think there's just some kind of a misstatement out there. So, yeah.
Well, I'll accept that.
Fidamus, I want to say that he's the blacks of Africa. That guy.
I think he's more liberal. Yeah, I think calling him not to be a Pan-Africanist is not correct. Yeah, I think I'll accept with you on that one.
Let's bring in midlife logic into this. Welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thank you, Afridamus. I'm honored to be here on YouTube's premier African Diaspora Studies channel. You are the Negrologist that I search to for knowledge in my life when I seek information in that realm. There's a few things I wanted to say about what's going on here. First off, there is a term for what America exports above and beyond anything else, which is it's called global homo. We are spreading global homo throughout the world.
So what do you think Ghana should do?
Well, Ghana should either obey its master or it should shake free from the bridle. What does it value more, freedom, or does it value free money and comfort? It's up to Ghana, really. I think actually, what's his face said it really nice earlier. Jude, actually, I agree with something he said. He said it perfectly. I'm really agreeing with him. So that's what I feel. But the thing is, the thing that you didn't mention or that I didn't hear the whole show. And I wanted to ask you, do you think perhaps they're trying to depopulate Africa so they
Yes.
can recolonize it and steal all of the land? Did anyone mention that?
Yes, I mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
We just said making the continent weak. So I think it's part of that protest subset.
Well, sure. Weakness through lower population. Sure. Okay. I could see that.
So
I just wanted to throw that out there.
if you look at it, like, because like this administration, their agenda, going back, trying to recolonize these places by using, like you said, the global homo thing.
There it is.
Yeah.
Say it.
So like, how do you feel about that? Like, this white man standing there saying, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do."
Well, it's certainly more peaceful than the previous methods, so I'll give him that, right? Don't you think? What do you think about that? Previous methods were a bit brutal.
Well, it appears to be peaceful, but he's using violent. He's using violent language.
I don't know what language you're referring to.
He's like, they're gonna. He's threatening them.
Who is? I missed it.
Oh, you didn't hear this? Here, let me clue you in.
Sorry, I was late.
Oh, I don't have the video anymore.
It's more underhanded. It's more insidious. It's sneaky. It's low down. It's dirty. It's not like right in your face. It's like a Trojan horse under the guise of global homo or homosexuality or something of that nature.
I got a question. Is America a Christian country? Why is it oppressing a Christian nation?
America is everything. It's Christian, it's Muslim, it's atheist, it's everything. There's not only Christians over there.
There's the freedom of religion in America. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say this to midlife.
It's a Christian nation, in its founding.
I mean, the founding fathers, but I mean, even the currency is based on in God we trust, but still, like, there's freedom of everything you want to do,
It was
America follows a new god. It is a false idol. They follow the altar of the rainbow flag. Our number one religion and export is global homo and the rainbow flag, and that is really a new religion. And that is
it is true. You guys are laughing, but it's a fact. Yeah,
it is
because you're not allowed to oppose it.
Yeah. So let me just add this to what midlife bro logic said.
Midlife bro logic. There it is. Thank you.
They don't have to introduce homos to depopulate Africa. They can do it through medicine, food, whatever, even war. I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to get puppet leaders, because we all accept homos love the Onyibo. That's their number one savior. Or anything you want to do to them, they run and say, "Oh, make law to protect us." So if we have a lot of homos in these countries, those are the easiest puppets for them to control. I think they want to put so many of them in these African countries so that they can use them to control those nations, because homos would never reject the West because they are the ones that will save them. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but homo is just one. Is just let me say, homo is just one tool to depopulate. But I don't see no reason why African population shouldn't be depopulated. I mean, for me, I think it's an advantage.
Hear him out.
Yeah, let me finish, man. Sometimes, I mean, you guys have to just keep your own things aside and let other people talk.
You're free to go ahead. Guys, don't block him. Let him talk.
People just on this panel just think overpopulation is good. It's good. When you see the number of people, it's bad for the. I mean, at this point in time, overpopulation is not good in Africa. At this point in time, ask me why. Why? Because the countries are still dependable on other European countries and America. If increased population was going on and you are independent, you are able to produce good, you are able to have the amount of good that can feed this population, there is jobs, that would have been nice. But when people are fleeing away
from that continent, and they are causing impact on other European countries with, refugees sleeping on the street in America and all these things. It becomes a burden. So why have so much population? You can't take control of them. So that's a big problem on the continent. If you cannot supply, if you cannot have the amount of food to feed them, you don't have hospitals to take care of their need, you cannot do a lot of things for them, then do not grow your population. So at this point in time, it's nonsense. When China realized that their population was increasing, what did they do? They came up with one-child policy to stop it. Now they removed that policy because they realized that the food that they have could actually sustain their population. They have now a lot of industries that people can actually work in it. They have people now with high IQ and all of these systems put in place. So it's high time for Africa to put these things in place. And then their population can increase. But for right now, all this birth control, hormones, and all of this stuff should be a tool to depopulate that population.
So Judah, are you saying then the imposing this lifestyle on them LGBTQ that's the answer?
Yeah. I mean, it's not the answer, but it's not only LGBTQ that is depopulating now. Even religion is a form of tool that is depopulating African population. In Christian religion, they tell you one wife, one man, one wife. It means you cannot get married to different wives.
Yeah, but that's not stopping Africans in most countries, especially West Africa.
It's another tool. That's what I'm telling you. It's another tool to depopulate. It's not only homos. It's not only religion.
How many Christians do you know who have multiple wives? What are you talking
Let me finish. You see, most of the time when I talk, allow me to land. Then you can go ahead and make your pronostics or whatever you want to say. But these are just various tools to it. But at the same time, I see it as an advantage on the African continent. Do you know that one of the reasons that cause high birth control in Africa is because of unemployment? Women sit around, they don't go to jobs, they just sit around idling. Of course, when you are idle, your mind takes you to somewhere else. In America, for you to even see your husband, maybe it takes you probably like 2 weeks because everybody is busy working. And that is a problem that is wrong with Africa. So I think this is an advantageous thing on the continent. And I mean, if you have a different idea, then go ahead and do it. But for me, it's an advantage for Africa as a whole.
Well, you're wrong anyway. But you have the right to say what you mean.
Well, Midland, what do you think about what Judah just said there? Like, they are doing the favor to the people. Unmute yourself.
Someone like me saying that I think it's a good idea to depopulate Africa, that won't go over very well.
No, it won't.
It puts me on edge. But what he said is what he said. You shouldn't. I mean, he's just spitting facts today. He really is. You can't make zillions of people if they're going to starve, man. It's not a good idea. That's just the cold hard facts right there. I've never been to Africa, so I don't know what's going on. Only thing I know about Africa is, I mean, it's never even on TV anymore. I don't know what's going on over there. I just come here to learn.
I mean, when I was there, the people are just chilling, living their lives. Sure. Okay, let's bring in Zongo. This one was too much for you guys, but Zongo is from Ghana. Welcome, Zongo.
Greetings to you, Arfadamas, as usual. Greetings to the panel, and greetings to the chat. Right. Interesting topic conversation today.
Yes, Zongo, is your president Nana Akufo? Is he going to sign this bill?
Well, I mean, it has nothing to do with whether it's going to pass or not. I mean, according to the Constitution, I mean, if the bill is proposed to is brought forward to the president, he's expected to sign or not. Right? If he doesn't sign, it means he got to get back to the parliament. 2/3 of them have to vote. If the majority agrees, then they don't need any consent from the president for it to pass into an act and eventually turns into a law, right? So, I mean, the Constitution is very clear. So there's no, I mean, he might probably delay the time frame on how to pass the bill into a law. But however, if 2/3 of Parliament agrees, is definitely going to get into effect. But another angle that I wanted to speak is that we have to look at the implications of the law, right? So first of all, now we've passed the law. A lot of you guys are happy trying to send a signal to the Western powers who are extending their pressures or
Well,
massive.
we are not. We are just having discussion. We don't, giving our 2 cents. Hopefully, Nana Akufo might come across this video or his people. But go ahead.
Yeah, you look at the implications, right? So the implications like you pass the law. How are you going to implement the law into a practical action? You're going to need some money. You're going to employ some new forces to because I think you played a video earlier that Sam George was saying that it's not necessarily the ones who commits the act are the ones who are going to go to jail, but those who enhance in propagating the LGBT
promoting it. Because
exactly.
they are, for example, like they are teaching this in schools. They are forcing this on people's kids.
Maybe like through social media within the territorial boundaries.
Yeah, but that's step one. Step two is
I'm saying,
they're gonna give money to the Ghanaian schools and teach it there. I mean, midlife. Can you in the United States? Isn't that how it goes?
What?
Okay, let me.
They give money to the school, and they are like, this is what you gotta teach.
Exactly, but that's the same thing. If you are against it, you need people to go outside looking for people who are propagating that act, which is considered as a crime in the country, right? You need money to do it. Already, you don't have existing revenue to support your government. So I think a lot of times you got to think we have to think long term instead of just reacting to the Western pressure.
Yeah, but Zongo, does Ghana right now? Does Ghana really need this? To be honest, in the Ghanaian
another critical point
society?
that I'm going to say. Now, if we have someone, I don't know. I mean, if you have an autocratic leader, he's going to start pinpointing some people like Afidamos or Mike that he's a gay, so it's not considered to be.
Why you gotta use me?
But I'm saying when you look at the political implications.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
People might probably label the opposition leaders.
Right, you're onto something. That's possible. You're right.
So sometimes you gotta look at the long-term implications. And now when we lose the aid that is coming, I mean, it's gonna strain the public service in Ghana. They don't have money. That's why they went to the World Bank to take some money to support.
So you guys are broke over there.
I mean, they don't generate enough. I mean, there's the private sector.
What are they doing with the cocoa money and the gold?
It's not. I mean, because like people are making money from that sector. But
The cocoa is not controlled by Ghana. The cocoa is controlled by United States and their gold mines and Chinese. That's it. They have given it out for leverage, so they don't control anything.
Well, I mean, I think what you have to understand, right? If you practice free market economy, I mean, the government can only take maybe taxes from your profit. And the profit, the tax that they take from your profit is what they're going to use to finance the activities of the executive branch of government, or probably the whole government, including the legislative part and the executive, the judiciary parts too, right? It requires money. If you don't have enough, you have to go outside to go take the loan. So I get what you guys are saying, but I mean, now looking at the economic condition of the country, we are not stable. We have to. I think it is, for me. If you ask me personally, I think it's unnecessary. I mean, I heard
wait. It's unnecessary to pass the bill.
Yeah, because we are just reacting to.
So Zongo, you being from Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is out in the public. The cat is out of the bag, and you got a lot of Ghanaians supporting this. If Nana Akufo doesn't sign this, what type of implication would that have, as far as the, people are concerned?
I mean, if he doesn't pass it, I think maybe because the people don't know.
No, it's up to him to sign.
Yeah,
so in Ghana, in Ghana, not like, because I saw videos, like this is like local news from Ghana.
Yeah.
The people, they are like, nah, like, yeah, the president need to sign this. This is what we want. I mean, some even saying some stuff I can't even play here.
The one who's
So
spearheading this whole bill is from the
Mhm.
opposition party. So if he doesn't sign it, he's gonna lose political score in the coming elections, right? Because oh man, this guy, and like Ghana is like hugely influenced by religion, either like Christianity or Islam. So they might use that to influence the emotions of the general public, right? But if you look critically, because we say, oh, we are trying to protect our values, and a lot of you guys, I mean, you're very like conscious, right? Most of the values we consider to be African values hugely stems from Christian and Islamic values, which is not intrinsic to African culture. You understand? So I don't know what we are really protecting.
not necessarily. Some people sometimes they conflate the values. Like, for example, they try to conflate their own African cultural value with religion. They think it's from religion, but because they've been practicing it for so long, they think that's what it is, but it's not.
Yeah, but
I disagree with the
what Sam George is
statement.
saying, that he's protecting African values, he's pretty much protecting the African Christian values that was handed over.
I agree with Zongo. Whenever you see those people present a case against homosexuality, they'll start telling you about, oh, the Bible say Adam and Eve, and the Quran said this. They just quote the Bible and the Quran. That's what they do. So they don't really go into like, oh.
So I kind of feel like the attention that he has towards passing the LGBT community, I think we could have just used the same, effort into trying to improving the economy of the country. Say, hey,
exactly, there's a misplaced priority. That's what I think as well.
Can I say something?
Okay, wait. Mike, what is misplaced priority? You
go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
You go to Africa all the time,
right?
How many times do you even see any gay person around you at all?
I mean,
you hardly see people. We don't see.
Right,
so why is that? Why is that the biggest? Why they like? There's so many things they can focus on. There's so many problems.
Because they approach. You have to remember, whenever politicians, for instance, they talking about this, like, you have to remember the global homo agenda. It's been a thing from
there's no global homo agenda, man.
Yes, there is, sir. There is. Where have you been?
That's the deal.
You remember when
Obama? Let me talk. Please. Did you just say there's no global homo agenda? We sent the vice president of the United States to, where is it? Ghana? I don't know.
Ghana. Yeah.
To tell them, oh look, there's such a global homo agenda. When I tried to type it in the comments, it wouldn't even post. I'm telling you, there is a global homo agenda. Our vice president went over there to try to preach, to tell African countries that they need to accept global homo, or they're not going to get our trinkets or whatever it is.
No, from what I know what it's saying is, don't make law to prosecute human beings for
no.
Mike, that's what I know. I don't know anything.
Mike,
I don't know anything about what.
See, I think even
Nigeria has a stricter law, and but I think, Mike, I don't think. Hold on, I don't think these nations, these parliaments, they just woke up one day and came up with this. I understand what you're saying. Sure, like, I don't really think these African people are walking around, even thinking about this, right?
Let me ask you this.
But I would think, because of the agenda, I'm guessing they were approached. Because first, remember when Obama went to Kenya? He went to Kenya. He tried to push this on them. He went to Senegal. So they try to bring it into the conversation.
Can you elaborate more on the pushing that you're talking about? Pushing in what sense? Like, just
that way
I get a better understanding.
Well, I don't know what type of. Maybe they went to let them know.
Can I tell you what I see?
Pass a law to accept to
No,
accept that.
if you're saying that, then I can say, yeah, they're pushing gay agenda. If you're saying they go there to say, hey, pass a law that say gay people should be gay or something like that, and I would say, okay, yeah, that's a global gay
Well, yeah,
agenda.
that's what they are doing.
No, I've never seen that. What I see is this: I see them saying, no, do not pass a law to criminalize people for being gay. That's the only thing I see.
But Mike, do you think these countries like Uganda, even Ghana, you think they just woke up one day and came up with this idea?
No, what happened is one individual would get up and say, he heard about homosexuality. He's never heard it in his life. And they begin to say, no, we don't want it in our society.
Because he has the backing of the Christian,
hold on now.
the Christian community.
Yeah, usually Christian Muslim, they be like,
look,
in Africa, a lot. Wait, hold on. Can we talk one at a time at least? In Africa, a lot of us, like in our culture, even heterosexual, male and female, it's kind of like we frown upon people expressing their sexual behavior in public. So, or talking about sex in public in general. So, for a long, it made us so kind of ignorant of even the idea of male and male or female and female or homosexuality. So a lot of Africans are so ignorant of it to the point where even if you go to some rural Africa and you say, have you heard of a man and a man? They'll be like, what? I'm talking about today. I'm telling you. So it's something that because the world is becoming more of a smaller space, a village where information is just traveling. So a lot of Africans are just being exposed to their knowledge of male, female, or gay like that. And their reaction to it is kind of like a shock. So you have individuals. Hold on now. So you have individuals that are like maybe a powerful position, maybe a big pastor or imam or someone in a community begin to hear that, they're talking about this thing, we hear nobody, and they begin to like frown and say, hey, we have to stop it in our society and we have to make a law that anyone that tries or that is one of those should be prosecuted, rather than sitting down to even understand what this is all about.
No,
and you know what's even more annoying, Afridamos, is these people, this parliament, they don't even debate the issue before even passing the law.
No, they did. In Ghana, they did.
In the case of Nigeria, they didn't even sit down to debate. Like, okay, what is this? Disease? Is the what? They don't even go to understanding what it's all about. They just say, I don't want to see it. If you do it, they'll sentence. To me, that's just ignorant, complete ignorant.
wait, Mike, can I answer? Oh, okay,
Go ahead, Andre. Thank you, Supergirl, for the super chat. He said, can we hear from Andre? Well, it's Andre's turn anyways. Yeah. Go ahead, Andre.
I want to say that Mike and the Nigerian brother, they made two points that were really
Which Nigeria? Mike is the Nigerian.
Mike, yeah, and the Ghanaian guy. The point, let me address the first point, the point that they said about Islam and Christianity when it comes to addressing this kind of point. They said Africa basically doesn't have a culture. They're both wrong. They need to educate themselves about that because African society is really traditional, very conservative, and they're really against this Western. Let me speak first. Let me address.
No, I'm just trying to clarify, just to make sure what I said. No.
It just sounded like we use Christianity and Islam when we're trying to address this kind of. No, it is wrong. African societies are really traditional and they have a value, and it is different from a Western society. And the other point that you guys were making about. You guys are basically for sanctioning African countries because they have a different point of view on things. It is really wrong. Mike, and you're an African yourself. How can you agree on such a thing, like sanctioning an African nation?
And Andre, to add on to it, Mike, also,
I don't understand what he said, Africa. What did I agree on?
Yeah, Mike, like you're saying, the Nigerian parliament said, they are dumb. They will just agree, dismiss it. You said they should study it. Mike, I disagree with that. Why should they why should they study this when they got other stuff to focus on?
Yeah,
if you have other stuff to focus on, then why are you focusing on it in the first place?
No, because somebody, again, this is like midlife, said. It's a global agenda. So obviously they were approached.
Yeah, I think people don't know how laws come in. I think people don't know how laws come in place in the world. I mean, people just have to start talking about it. I mean, if there's a parliament, then you have people that are representing you in the parliament, they pick it up and take it to the parliament. So, I mean, once they get to the parliament, I mean, gay is not something that we, the African community, are used to. So it's not something that they're going to spend more hours. It's like telling Americans to spend more time talking about polygamy in their House of Assembly.
Exactly.
They're going to fit against it. So,
Okay, listen to this. Hold on. Listen to this, right? This is in the parliament in Uganda. Like some of you are thinking these people are not taking their time to look into this. Some of them actually remember they went to school.
That room is the echo chamber.
Wait.
They don't
Mike,
debate us. Okay, go ahead.
Mike, most of these people actually did go to school in the West. Don't forget that they already know about this. So here we go.
It is a threat to the human survival, to the human race. And what we are discussing is the preservation of the human race. There are consequences, but the consequences which are negative will be temporal. Some people think because we are poor, we can be held at ransom. Some people who are very vulnerable have surrendered. The minority report, as you heard, belongs to people who have surrendered the future of the children, surrendered the country, and surrendered everything. And for anybody who is reasonable to stand here and say that this thing is okay, it's a human right to destroy people's innocence. That person is evil. Hell belongs to that person. That person is evil. Hell belongs to that person. And I can tell you, we will win this race. We will win the race. Those who believe in it in their countries have it there. In our country, we will have our morals. We will protect our children. And we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves. We are making this law for our children. We are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm.
So you hear this? He said he doesn't want people's innocence to be destroyed.
Okay, are you telling me a man on the floor?
What about people?
An opinion? You can show me where these people actually said, okay.
Mike, I can't help it.
Those are the people ruling Africa. That's why we are where we are today.
No, I mean,
you passing it up based on your own personal.
I gotta go to Uganda and be that leader over there.
Man, these Ugandans are funny.
It's just ridiculous, man.
Hey, Midnight, what do you think about that representative?
Is there anyone from Uganda here? Can they please say that with the Ugandan accent? I want you to say it with the Ugandan accent. Or rewind it, please. I wasn't prepared for that. Can I please hear that again?
Oh, you didn't hear it? You didn't hear that? Yeah.
No, I heard it, but I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Our morals. We will protect our children. And we are making this law. We are making this. That person is evil. Hell belongs to that person. And I can tell you, we will win this race. We will win the race. Those who believe in it in their countries have it there. In our country, we will have our morals. We will protect our children. And we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves. We are making this law for our children. We are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space.
Hold on.
As you heard, belongs to people who have surrendered the future of the children, surrendered the country, and surrendered everything. And for anybody who is reasonable to stand here and say that this thing is okay, it's a human right to destroy people's innocence.
That's like, I don't know how to describe that.
Can you put that clip in the back? I need that clip, Aphrodite. Please put it there. I need that clip.
I need that Parliament.
I mean, that sound like just bigger Tribune Express rather than logic. There's no logic. Like, it's not presenting any logic. Like, okay, it's not coming out there saying, "Hey, I've conducted studies and I found out that No one was born homosexual.
Mike, our parliament leaders have to conduct studies. Mike,
this
what the heck are you talking about? Our
No,
parliament leaders have to conduct
This is
studies.
the reason why Africa is backward. The kind of people that
They
make
have to
laws
do
for you
it.
and
Hold
make
on,
you
guys.
because
One mic.
let me
Hold
say
on.
They have
So,
to do the studies, Joe.
one mic.
Just
One
because they're
mic.
not doing it does not mean it's correct. They have to do studies. And as I said, I just
No,
want to
they've studied it. The man just told
freedom.
us.
Does that I tell you to present a case? Yeah, this
Look,
was brought up. Does that man
in
sound like a
fact,
man has done any studies?
look,
Oh,
let
Mike,
me,
yeah.
Mike,
Does he
let
sound
me
like a
show
person
you.
that's presenting
Hold
just
on, Mike.
presenting a case based on findings of some kind of studies or some form of
the studies is
conducting some.
probably based
He
on
hasn't done anything. He hasn't even he hasn't come out to present a fact that listen, okay, this gay, what is it all about? What is the definition? These people are there. Is it a copy behavior? Is human being born with it? Is it a disease? He hasn't even come out to. So let's say we find he does a study, find out it's a disease. Are you going to criminalize people that are infected with disease?
Well, what's his name? Already did that
He has not
study.
come out with a fact.
No,
Even behind wall.
hold on, Mike. Mike, let me show you proof of video clip. They've talked about this years in Uganda, and they've done their studies. But
What did they find? What did they find? Show me the finding of their studies.
Well, the man just told us.
They just speak on emotion and they don't study jack, man. Come on, man. You know these guys, man. They just get together and speak on emotion. They act on emotion rather than logic.
Man,
it's
that's
emotion.
Mike, you right,
I
man.
personally,
You know
I don't
how
like.
these
I'm not. I wish all human beings can just be straight, and I really don't like the idea of homosexuality and things. But I'm not gonna go kill another human being because
No, but that's not what they are saying.
Just kill another human being because that's who they are. Come on, man.
Imprisonment.
Just as someone has a right to be a human, you have your own right to be a human.
Why has America not passed polygamy marriage if everyone has the right to live
Well,
on their own?
they are also wrong as well. I believe Americans are wrong, and I'm the number one. I'm the number one critic. I'm the number one critic of America when it comes to that.
Wait, Mike, you say in America they say you can be anything, right? How come?
I never said that.
No, not you. No, not you. I'm talking about this is what is pushed. But how come Rachel Dolezal is not allowed to be black?
She is black.
No, but they charge her with a felony. That's why she became Nigerian. She became Nkechi Diallo.
You diverted Afridamus.
No, I'm just giving. No, this is real.
But who here said America so you can be anything? No one said that.
Like she wasn't in prison.
So you're presenting a new kind of argument.
No, I'm talking in America. This is what
I thought we were talking about homosexuality in Africa.
Let's speak about the real issues. Like, see, all of us growing up in African countries, right? We have seen people, males that have exhibited like some female tendencies, right?
Those guys, they've always existed in Africa. We just never knew they were gay.
Never had issues.
We just never knew they were gay. That's all it is.
Criminalizing them now? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So basically,
let me just say this, Mike. Sorry, I said it before. I think if this issue about homos or what these people with this alternative lifestyle, if we had to discuss it in an African context, it would be different. But just because we're having foreign influence, I think that's why it's making people mad. Because why are you coming to tell us these things? If we say, okay, we had these people and nobody hated them. I grew up and people were behaving like women, painting their face. Nobody would beat them. They were like funny. No one was looking at them as some people that are going to like maybe bring some different kind of immorality in the society. We were not saying them like that.
Right, you're right. Over there, in fact, in America, they judge. Like when I first came, they judge like people that are gay harsher. You're right. Over there, people don't even know.
In Africa, we don't even pay it like.
Let me tell you one thing though, because you have to understand that the politicians, their customers are the general public, and mostly like the religious leaders. They hold a high weight in our society because they influence the general masses, right? Because if the religious leaders that's what they want, the politicians are going to pass it. If they pass it, it means they are going to like give all sort of excuses for not doing like any economic stuff that benefit the country, because a lot of them come into power and there's still a lot of the country's resources, and nobody even speaks about it. And now we're just focusing all our attention on stuff that rarely even impact the general society of the country. Like, doesn't really make sense.
Zongo, let me say this.
Can I come in for a minute?
Let me just say this real quick. here's the deal. It would make sense if they're passing a law that, hey, do not come in public and expose yourself or do this in public or stuff like that. That would make sense. But these guys are just passing laws saying, I don't know where they're coming from, because in African society, we've always frowned upon people expressing some kind of sexual behavior in public, like boyfriend and girlfriend kissing, husband and wife, even kissing or smooching in public. It's an African thing. That's why we never knew that homosexuality existed, because people don't express show their sexual act in public. Even husband and wife don't kiss in public in Africa. If you do it, I don't know, maybe they're doing it now, but I'm pretty sure you're old enough to remember at least a time where if a man and his maybe husband and wife, or a male and female, kind of like,
I've never seen it. You're right.
They grab each other in public. Everybody will shout at them like, "What are you guys doing?" You know what I'm saying? It's an African thing. But what has happened is that African will becoming more Western. That we've become exposed to Western culture, where it's normal for men and women to express their sexual behavior in public, where we've learned to accept the male and female doing it in public. So now it's getting to a point where maybe the gay people now begin to say, okay, oh, we've also been doing our own in private. So now let's start showing our own in public now.
No, but Mike, it's not the African gay people in these countries saying this. It's like some white people coming from America. You know, we look at it, threatening, this society, telling them what to do.
So the point I'm trying to make, basically, Afridamos, is what the Africans trying to argue sometimes is we need to go back to where we were. And if you want to go back to where you were, then stop living the way you were before. Where making law about not being exposed in public, exposing sexual behavior in public, that's what you have to do. And then you go back to where you were. You will not see the gays in public doing their thing. You will not see the heterosexual people, the male and female in public doing their own thing, and everybody we not know anything exists. But today, the fact of the matter is, these people are born gay, dude. You trust me, they're born like that. If you do enough study, you know that they are born like that.
Okay, hold on. Let me play this clip to show you that Uganda, in fact, took the time to do a studies on this. They've interviewed many people. Fair use. Here we go.
In the studio this morning, one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender, and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you? Now, we're looking at the raging debate. You're a gay rights activist. Why should someone be gay? You're having a girlfriend.
Yes.
Do you perform the natural obligations?
I'm not sexually active right now.
So what are you doing with this lady?
By choice.
By choice?
Yeah. I've just not, I've chosen not to engage.
Doesn't that make you gay?
What do you mean, doesn't that make me gay? I am male and attracted to a female.
So who is gay?
That's what you're calling studies, right?
If we go back to everything, right? Growing up in Africa, like everybody said, right? We had those people in Africa, right? But our culture, where these people grew up, they kind of knew exactly what to do, not to do, right? So they kept themselves together. You know, we kind of knew a few guys here and there, and some of them used to mingle around Westerners, you know? It wasn't between locals. It was between them and some of the foreigners.
Westerners.
Exactly.
Yeah, the foreigners. You know, I remember growing up, you know, my mom used to tell me this guy, you know, in the neighborhood, like, yeah, this guy, something's wrong with him, you know?
They usually hang with girls all day, working like girls, but no one ever knew they were gay because they didn't ever show anything like that in public. That's why I was touching
Look, they even, these studies here, the interview to show in Uganda, they even brought a pastor to have the discussion here. Listen.
And also, see, I want to say something too, right?
A human rights
Hold on. Point one thing, right?
And I see Pastor Sempas come here. When I agreed to come to this show, spoke to you.
I'm sorry, it's just
He
storming.
can, no, he cannot just storm in. So if he storms in, I storm out. Thanks for your time. I cannot go on with this.
Before you go, do you recognize these things?
No,
I'm sorry. Can you give me a minute?
Pepe, do you recognize some of these things here?
No.
These are some of the things that.
What is that? What I was trying to say is this, right? A big country. I'm gonna pick on Ghana a little bit. You know, it's
Yes, yeah. Do you think they're gonna sign it?
That's my favorite country because we're neighbors and we're family. I can pick on Ghana every day, right?
Yeah.
So what I don't understand is these kind of things making it into parliament. I never understood it. You know, neighboring country, we don't even talk about those things because it's taboo to us, right? So they're taking it all the way to the parliament, and the people in Ghana don't even talk about it on the street. So something is weird.
No one in Ghana is talking about it.
Nobody, and they're talking about it in the parliament. Everybody trying to make a name for themselves and talking about a topic that no African talk about it on a daily basis. Something is up. Something is up. And second,
that's why I say it's the misplaced priority.
and
That's why I
second,
said
Afrodamus. And I remember one day we had that conversation, and I told you these laws they're trying to pass in Africa, they are not meant for Africans. You got the European Union in Africa. You have the UN in Africa. They want their people to freely move in Africa, you know, with that kind of stuff, you know. So they're trying to use Africa so they can pass these laws, telling them, oh, these are for you. No, these are for the European. These are for the Westerners. You know, it's not for Africans. So we will benefit from it, but this is meant for the Europeans. So Ghana doing it, who's paying for it? You know, that's my question. Who's paying? The Ghanaians are not interested in that. Why the politicians are talking about it? Why? Because somebody pay, whether they pass it or not, somebody already pay for them to talk about it. So that's undeniable. Somebody already paid.
But
yes, somebody paid.
You have to understand the way our leadership is structured. I think in African countries, there's always a disconnect between the leadership and the general, like the young population. You know, they always want to set rules to control us, but a lot of like the general public don't really.
Let me tell you what's funny, right? When the Nigerian parliament started addressing the whole gay thing, when they discussing it, when I went to Nigeria, I went to this rural area, and the people were asking me what are they talking about. Like, what is they talking about? They didn't even know what the parliament.
Let me read this. This is Mike. It's time for bed.
To them. Oh no, I had to start explaining to those people. I'm talking about the rural part. Like, hey, okay, gay is like I had to start defining what gay is, like a man and a man doing something, and a woman and a woman. It was like, really? People do that? They didn't even know. The Africans didn't even know those things were happening. And it was
in Gambia, hold on, in Gambia, when Jammeh was they even, I don't know how it came over, they interviewed him. He said this wasn't even a discussion. He shut it down. He said come to his country, you try this, he's gonna chop your head off. And that was the end of conversation.
Exactly. I mean, you could have just frowned like, hey, don't do this in public. And you don't have to be passing law. Just say we don't want it. That's it. But you don't have to be making law and making the
but St. James
saying makes sense. Paid for it to talk about it. That these people that paid for it, they don't care if you pass it or not. As long as they got people to talk about it, that's enough for them. Trust me, in 2015, there was a Westerner. There was the first. In 2015, there was a Westerner that flew in my country. Right, there was one mayor who was looking for funding to, to build schools and whatever the situation may be, and he found somebody, a Westerner. Right, the Westerner was like, "Yo, listen, I come over there in Africa to your country. I'll fund all the school, all the projects that you have, but in one condition. That one condition was what we're talking about today: is help lobby the governor so they can pass those kind of law. The guy didn't even take it to the governor. The guy told me, if you want me dead and my family dead, that's
serious. Before KBM chimes in, see, I grew up in Ghana for the most part of my adult life. I traveled to other countries, and I'm in the US for almost 4 years now, right? And I still don't understand. Even like when I had my first job, I took a training about what these pronouns were. Till now, I still don't understand it. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. So can you imagine?
The reason why they put it as a law, they don't want it to be taught in the schools.
Yeah, we
That's
can
what I'm
understand
saying.
that. I mean,
Alpha-Damas,
a
do
lot
you
of people
know
don't pay
when I was
attention
back
to
home, right? Do you know that some people don't even know the rainbow colors? I tested my family member with that. I
Yeah,
tested
go
them. I
on.
said, these are going to come in forms of books and whatever the kids may like. You know, I already worked with my family member on those issues, man. You know, I told them, tell your friends, tell your, you know, whatever, whoever want to listen to you. I already put them into notice, man. This is going to come slowly but surely. You know, they don't know rainbow colors. I tried. I said, okay, do you know rainbow colors? They don't know. We don't know. I'm like, whoa. That's the,
Yeah,
you
I
see,
think a woke progressive woman left the US. I think she was a lawyer. She came to Cameroon trying to advocate for gay rights. And in 2 weeks, her office was burned. The number of threat they gave her, she had to go back to America. You know, there's no law like that's just people like mob justice. You know, so it's
Africans in
something that
general, we're
Africans are ready
from.
for that kind of a lifestyle. You know, I think the West they're just trying to see who they can get.
Look. In fact,
Africans.
hey,
Remember,
here's how crazy this is, right? Like Audrey said, so said the Africans who are the LGBTQ. I'm not even sure they don't even know what it is. It's true.
that's a
Like I've
fact.
seen,
That's a fact.
facts. Like I've seen it. In fact, it's funny. While I was in Gambia, there I saw like this lady also. Like she was wearing a Trump shirt and a Trump hat. But she didn't even know anything about that. So I'm like, man, if this person was in the United States, the black people would have jumped her. But this woman doesn't. She don't even know. She don't even know anything about it.
Signs and slogans.
It's just a shirt for her.
Yeah. Like the buy second hand, Africa. I've seen Africans wear white supremacy slogans and T-shirt and working in Africa. They have no idea what is that. It's just to them, it's just some clothing. So
even if you explain it to them, they won't give a shit. They'll keep wearing it. They keep going on their life.
Clothes, man.
They got better
People
things
don't
to
have clothes. They don't have no clothing. Then you talking about?
But St. James, do you think Nana Akufo is gonna sign this, or this is just like you said, just a conversation?
I got home like 2 days before Kamala landed to America, right? Landed to Ghana. I swear on everything. I was sitting with my uncle, right? And when Kamala just had a meeting with Akufo, and we were watching it live on TV, and the gay guy that Kamala brought in asked the question to Nana Akufo and his staff, right? And Nana Akufo was like, yeah, it's not, the law hasn't passed yet, and we'll see. I was sitting there next to my uncle. I said, you see me, uncle? That's what I'm telling you, man. Our own people are bringing it to us. She claims she's black, right? And she has, Indian lineage, right? So I'm still waiting for her to go to India and pull that trick. That's what Africans don't understand. She will never go to India and pull that thing she did with Akufo. She will never do that. And I was me and my uncle.
But do you think Akufo is selling Ghanaians to these people?
I don't know what Akufo is doing. So because listen, the journalists.
You guys are missing the point.
Hold on, Zongo. Hold on. The problem is, right? The Air Force One, when they traveled, the president, the vice president, they get to travel with the journalists. She knew when she get to see the president, no Ghanaian journalist gonna ask Akufo-Addo about gay. So they set it up perfectly for the Ghanaian people to see it. Why that question just showed up in the middle of nowhere? Because they're trying to prepare the Ghanaians. It's going to come. You guys are taking money. So you guys are complaining about other people bringing allies. Our allies are not bringing this thing to us, man, in Africa. You guys are the one bringing it with your allies. Check your allies, bro. Check your allies.
So why do you guys think there's this disrespect towards Africans?
No, it's not.
Guys, I think we don't know what we want.
You're missing the point.
That's the point.
Nobody
that shouldn't even be discussed at the national level for the Ghanaian to see.
No,
coming from the vice president of the United States, because it is a crime in Ghana, yes or no? As it stands, or is not?
It is a crime.
It is a crime.
Okay, why the vice president can come to a country talk about a crime? Why?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because
they just want to remind you that you're a little boy.
Hold on, guys. 1 second. Imagine, even as radical as Ilhan Omar is, right? If Ilhan Omar goes to the house and make argument for polygamy, they're not even gonna entertain that. That's not gonna be a conversation. So, St. James, you got a great point there.
Yeah, but the point I'm saying is that
because it's a crime in the US. So why even entertain It's like coming telling the United States people, look, man, we know this is a crime here, but why don't we talk about this and see how we can, change it into something else? But the argument they are making is what do they call it? Human rights. But in all these countries, I mean, so far I've never heard yet in any African country prior to all these conversations that somebody was, punished or something happened to them because they are gay. I've never heard it.
You know Bobrisky in Nigeria, right?
Yeah, but
They don't even. They never arrested him. There's another one, James called James Brown. They just dress like girls. And
Yeah, because
they've never been
Bobrisky
arrested.
has never come openly to say he's gay. He says cross-dresser. He's very smart. He's never.
Mike, why are you accusing Bobrisky, Mike? Mike, why are you accusing Bobrisky? He's just dressing, man.
It's not only Bobrisky. There's several of them. But I mean, we all know
cross-dressing is a part of that. A big part of it.
Hey, okay, time for KBM. Go on, KBM.
All right, I want to start out with Stoic 1. Don't let them destroy African children with this nonsense. First, before you even do that, don't let them destroy the adult with this nonsense. Because once you destroy the adult, the child stands no chance.
Right.
And when it comes to all the scientific different studies, the twin studies, all the other ones that you can imagine, Born That Way study and all that, every single one of those so-called quote unquote scientists in their studies, when you read the conclusion of every single one, they'll make it sound like it's 100%. This is the way that it is. But in the conclusion, because they belong to the scientific community, they always never give 100% conclusion. Why? Because if there's ever a study that can actually prove whether somebody was born that way, because nobody is, if there ever was a way to prove that, and it doesn't come out to be the conclusion that somebody can be, then they lost their credibility within the whole scientific community. So they're not going to risk the reputation on saying that it's 100%. It will never be 100%. Why? Because every single one of these studies, these so-called scientific studies, are all made up. None of them are. It's everybody in the scientific community, whether if they are one or not, it's a choice. Nobody is born that way. All right, and these.
Do you think it's a disease?
Check this out.
Okay.
When I was about 10 years old, I remember picking up a phone call from a stranger on the phone who told me he was from the health department of Orange County, which is in California. He started talking all these lewd, crude stuff to me. And basically he was trying to groom me over the phone. Like even back then when I was 10, I knew better. But I was listening to this guy. And when my dad came in, who's that on the phone? The guy heard my dad's voice and he hung up. This perfect stranger called up, hoping that a kid would pick up to try to groom me or whoever to be gay. And then that was back in 1980. So back then it wasn't even being talked about in the US, like it's not being talked about in Africa right now.
Man, that's in the 1980?
That was 1980. I still remember the year. I remember how old I was. I remember the school.
I wasn't even born back then.
Yeah. So Mike, I heard you earlier. They're born that way. That's just a feeling because you see some people that are that way, but it is a choice. And a lot of them have been forced to partake in that act when they were children or maybe as an older adult. And when that happens, a lot of the men and women that go through that, they just, because of the shame, they just go ahead and go with that.
So,
but it is a choice.
Do you think it's possible that it could be a disease or
no? It's not a disease. We can always say it's a disease of the mind and stuff like that. People are crazy, but they are not.
Yeah, that's part of disease.
They're all knowing of what it is that they're doing. It's pure perversion.
Research.
It's
so you think
perversion.
You think it's a disease of the mind? Maybe
no.
Do you think they can be reversed? Maybe through some kind of counseling or some kind of therapy or some shit.
The whole therapy society, that whole psychological society, was actually created by those people. Alex Crowley, his group. Anybody that followed Alex Crowley, look him up. That's basically even him. He's a devil worshiper. Even
Right,
him back in the day,
I know of him.
he was promoting that. He was promoting that back then. He's been dead for decades.
So you think people?
If you say it is not a choice, so why can't it be reversed then? So if you say it's a choice, why can't it be reversed?
I don't see anybody, once you get so perverted in a certain thing, I don't see anybody really reversing. To be honest with you, like a mass murderer, somebody who's really into murder, I don't see them reversing.
Well, I don't know. I think therapy can do
Yeah,
great stuff.
the thing is,
change completely. So I don't know. Well, I don't know about if it's a choice that is just a very opinionated and a debate.
No, it's not. It's not opinionated. I even in my from 10 to 14, I remember being chased on the street by some of these fools trying to kidnap me, drag me in their car. At that, I used to have to run for my life and pick up big rocks and throw at the cars. Okay. Once it got bigger, that stopped. The thing is that these people are perverts. They go after children. Even the conversation of the idea, and even some of these people, they don't want to touch children, but they want children to actually be that way. That is still perversion. That is still pedophilia. When I picked up that phone at 10 years old, I never even heard the word pedophilia. I had no idea what it was. But I was smart enough at 10 years old to know that this was wrong.
Okay.
So it sounds to me like you're saying people were turned to be that way. Like, event happened that turned people to become gay. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
both the female and
actually,
the guys.
the whole Illuminati thing. I mean, if you look at it, the whole music society that's based in America, that's spread around the world as far as the music industry is concerned, they all have you take an oath. If you don't take an oath, you're outed out of the industry. You don't make any more money. I mean, it's not a secret. The same thing with Hollywood. When you go mainstream Hollywood, it's exactly the same thing because it's exactly the same people that's in control.
Wait, listen to this.
You brought that up. So this is a question I just asked.
Wait,
So
this is hold on. FBA Young Lion said, Afridamus, I think there is some environmental factors such as diet that's making these kids gay. A lot of the processed foods contain soy, which boosts estrogen levels in boys.
That's true, though, man. I think from what I learned, it's a high level. Some male produce high level of estrogen, and some female produce high level of testosterone.
That doesn't change the mind.
Man, in China, they eat a lot of soy. You know, how come that's not a thing?
So
I
think what KBM is
Why
saying.
you didn't add the famous topic that everybody's talking about in America, man? You missed that one.
Which one?
Puff Diddy.
Oh, Diddy! No, we're gonna bring the Diddy one. I've actually kind of like these quote unquote celebrities, whatever they go. I kind of glance it because for me, all these years, I don't know how people did not see it, so I just kind of let it play out. I mean, Diddy was very obvious. But
so what about this group of people who are men that are married and still have sexual intercourse with men? Are they gay people? What are they? Because that's another group of people that
they call them download DL.
So is it gay? Is that will you consider them gay people? What's that? Because you don't see them, they're not in the public. Some of them are even anti-gay. Most of those guys.
No, those are.
So what
like
are they?
Again,
what are they? Because it's like an elite class of people. I don't know. They just want to do that. Maybe that's the choice that KPM is talking about. Because there's a great number of people. I've seen it in America. Men that have men clubs, but these men are married with women. They have kids, but they go and mess around with other people. So that group of people is something that we need to be looking into.
It's a lot of that in America. If you go down south, like in Atlanta,
so is it gay people?
You go to Atlanta, you gotta be careful. You will see. I lived in Atlanta for 4 years, man. That stuff, man. Listen, if you go outside and you think these men, you see them with the big muscle driving sport car, you think these guys are into women, man. You will find out. Go to clubs and see how they behave, man. You know, I got personal encounter with black men in Atlanta. That's bad. Listen,
the other thing too, and I got to say one more thing about the environmental aspect of it. Now, I'm somebody who's I haven't been living a very healthy lifestyle. So the things I've been putting in my body basically is made me overweight. I'm actually transitioning back to healthier foods and all that other stuff. So I've gone through that whole thing for a couple decades at least, to where I actually had to been hospitalized a couple times. The thing is that environmental thing is true, but that does not change your mind, because it never changed my mind the time before I went through that, during that, and now that I'm recovering, I still don't have those types of so-called quote unquote tendencies.
Exactly.
So it's a choice 100%. And then there's influencers. It's like coming up to a little kid in school and saying, did you know that you might actually be a girl? Did you know that you might actually be a boy?
Yeah, to poison their mind.
Right, exactly. It's all influence, and then you confuse the children. It's no different. Actually, I forgot that old lady's name. She did an experiment with some kids in her class back in the 60s, between blue-eye kids and brown-eye kids.
Is it Jane something?
Yes, yes. Now, what she did, that was child abuse, what she did with that experiment. And come to find out, decades later, she's one of them too. And if you listen to that
she's
woman,
one of them?
yeah, she's a quack. She's a real quack. Actually, Jesse Lee went up against her. Afrodamus, you got to check out his audio. He actually had an interview with her, and she hung up on him because she couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah.
So,
also,
but
I
anyway,
wanted to
guys,
point-
thank you. I got to get going, but I had to say all that because I'm telling you right now, it's a choice. It doesn't belong in Africa. It doesn't even belong here.
I mean, shout out to you, KBM, for your journey. I mean, to getting healthy, man. I truly
thank you.
I'm glad I heard that from you, and yeah, that's an inspiration for all of
Yeah,
us. You know?
it might be a choice because me, for example, I went to all boys boarding school for 7 years, and we will go bathe together. We're making like fun of people's body part, but that was never part
Yeah, but
of
I mean,
our
but Kifaru.
Wait, Kifaru, you was showering with the boys?
Hold on,
I
guys.
went to boys boarding school for 7
Yeah,
years.
but no, Kifaru, no. See,
yeah,
a lot of
I went to all boys school too.
Yes,
Yeah,
but there was
some of the
nothing about
tendencies. Hold on, guys.
we shower.
Hold on,
No,
guys.
you shower after Damos in the morning, and everyone
Right.
had their things swinging and rubbing like you're just normal. You know, we're not
Yeah, but I'm
thinking
saying
about
like
that.
a lot of the
It's the same thing.
time, the tendencies come from male-dominated, like the boarding schools. Some people, not all of them do that, but some people tend to do that. And also, people who are incarcerated, people tend to learn that habit when they're incarcerated.
Zombo,
Yeah.
Zombo,
Look at
to
your
add
comment
to add
section is
to,
saying
to,
and
to
stuff.
add to what Kifaru said, man. I went to boarding school as well, man. We
Yeah.
showered together. Nobody never had that tendency.
Yeah, but you're always going to hear some cases. Some boys were just doing something, you know. I heard that when I was in
we would have
Ghana.
known back then, man, because everybody was talking at that
It
time, man.
happens. Okay, well, you can pretend, but I'm saying this
Pretend
is
like what? Like everybody was talking. Like what happened? Who was doing things that other people weren't doing? Like growing up
I mean,
young,
but
you kind of
I'm just
do what
thinking in terms
everybody
of
else is
Ghana.
doing. If you're
In
doing
terms of
something
Ghana,
different,
in terms
some
of
people will talk about it. Hey, this guy's a little different. Like in America, right? We said if you see the guy playing soccer and somebody's jumping the rope, that's a little different. You know,
Exactly. Like in
Yeah,
Africa,
I mean,
two boys.
I've heard of cases in male boarding schools in Ghana where I was, right. Even the boarding schools where it wasn't like male school. It's like a mixed school, but the boys were separated from the girls. And sometimes you do hear some case about some boys doing something. Like that was after I left the university. After I left the high school, I heard stuff like that. So I mean, all this stuff has to be taken into consideration when it has to be looking holistically. Not just.
Django, this boarding school still exists, man. If this was something that was happening, that would have been shut down a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
It would be shut down because it happened in the prison system. I mean, in America, you hear
which
that all the
ones?
time.
In America or Africa?
In Africa, it happens too. It's gonna happen, man.
In prison system in Africa, people are doing it.
It's gonna happen. What do you mean? Like, if you
Zongo, you can't just say it's going. Do you know of cases?
Oh, man, this downstairs prisons, man. It's gonna happen, man.
No. What do you have any proof?
Chukwuma School
Yeah,
was a
but
Catholic
African,
boarding
man,
school.
nobody
It's
takes
called
African
St.
prisons
Joseph's
seriously,
College.
man.
So
It's
it's
like
Catholic
it's
boarding
like an
school. It's
oven,
not-
man. Come on, stop it.
The only thing I went to both male and female school, but the only thing I know close to gay in high school in secondary school in Nigeria was the boys we used to call the woman rapper. Now those guys,
Oh,
they
Lapa.
only hang out with girls, man. And some they only hang out conversation. They were having conversation with girls all day, and we just look at them like, dude, how does this guy get along with these girls? And he's not dating any of them. And even this, I remember one. This guy would wear their makeup too. They wear makeup with them. I'm like, ah. So I knew that stuff was going on in Africa, man. Like I just didn't know it was gay until I came like around time when I was coming to America. I started hearing about homosexuality, and I still didn't suspect those guys to be gay. We was when I came to America and find out like, oh, this thing is this. I'm like, oh, those guys. So those guys were gay.
Back again, though, like
So do you guys think they just somebody's funding this to bring the conversation to put it in the psyche of the people there? Like for example,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like to normalize it. You know, when people talking about something, you know, because like they eventually, like some of them would jump out, you know, for example, you know, I don't know, maybe this guy here that went to Zongo's boarding school here, this guy.
Horrible erasure funded by U.S.-backed missionary groups. It's unfortunate that I'll never be able to go home and be safe again. That makes me really sad.
Yeah.
He's sad. That's Zongo's classmate, bro.
Look, this guy. Look, I think this is just propaganda. Why does he have to come on online and actually, you know, out himself like that? I mean, seriously.
What's wrong with this Audrey Kemi? Why you want my attention so much? You know, focus on yourself.
The Kifaru was hella kinky in high school. Audrey, I knew Audrey was gonna jump on that. Kifaru, why did you say that knowing that Audrey is watching? You know she's gonna make fun of you.
I want to say one thing too. See, I mean, I don't know, like even growing up, you know, I don't think none of I mean, even me from the home where I grew up, you know, none of my parents came to me, even taught me about, you know, some kind of like sexual education or something, like something to be aware of. So just imagine if you don't come from a good community that probably gonna protect you, or maybe
you wasn't getting it, man. That's why they wasn't worried, man.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like Zongo, I mean, I don't know, but this is not even it's usually not even a thing in for most.
When I was in Cyprus, I've been approached by almost like 3 gay people saying they showed interest in me, you know. But
really, like what did they say to you?
I mean, they just they ride in cars. They're just gonna like pull up and say, "Well, why don't you hop in the car, man?" I'm like, "What? Like, are you crazy?" So I'm thinking.
Tell the story, man. Just don't skip some parts, man. Tell it all the way.
No, hold on. So I'm thinking. I'm thinking like a lot of like these gay people when they're in Cyprus, they probably use money to get some of like these students, right? These like people with low economic status to get to, you know, to have like sex with them, you know, as like, you know, just some kind of like prostitutions in that way. And those people like were actually married too with kids and families, but they just wanted to be gay as well.
Now your audience are suspecting everyone.
Kivaru, they said Didi was the principal at your high school.
Hey Afridamus, you know, I haven't watched like TV. When I say TV, like actual television in like about 6 years.
Yeah.
Like anything close to like the only thing you see me maybe probably go watch on TV is just sports. Maybe there's a Premiership game or NBA game, but I've not been watching TV yet, so I have no idea what's going on in terms of celebrities or whatever. So what is this I'm hearing about?
Internet. Huh? It's on the internet, you know. Now everything is on
even the internet. I only pick and choose where I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have not. Like Didi, apparently, I guess Meek Mill, who, you know, I guess Meek Mill is looking to be a Ghanaian citizen. Now we know why. Who, you know what? St. James, you are onto something. St. James, you're onto something here, because somebody is paying somebody to talk about this in Ghana to normalize it.
Absolutely. That's the
Somebody
only
is
way.
paying big money. I mean, like,
That's the only
yeah.
way these people will talk about it. I don't see
Huh.
any Africans on the continent
That's true.
out of
That's
all the issues we got going on in Africa. They're focused on this one right here. So that means there's money to be made. So they will schedule sessions and after sessions. So
Hey,
just
yeah,
they get
Zongo.
paid to talk about it. That's it.
Afridamus, Zongo. I was in a conversation in one this Nigerian platform, and somebody was saying that they say like in Ghana that HIV kind of skyrocketed from
among gay people.
like recently. Is that true? Like among young girls or something like that, between 16 and
I haven't
24?
know. I might have to check the data. I'm not aware of that actually.
Yeah, they were. I'm like, really? They were saying it. They
I have
say
to
like
check the data. Among young girls or young boys.
yes, say between age 16 and 24. They're saying Ghana, like this HIV just skyrocketed. Like, I'm like,
Oh,
whoa.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why the guy. I'm like,
I
really?
have to check
I
the
was
data.
shocked too. Like, huh?
The
Yeah, I might have to
monkeypox
check the
was
data.
high, among same-sex couple in America. Like gay
They said the past few years, they say that he went on a rise. I'm like, well, I don't know where the guy got his information from. That's what I'm asking. Like the first Ghanaian I've run into since then. I don't know where. I try to look it up. I mean, I don't know where he got it from. So, I mean,
So guys, let's do our closing statements. Based on, so do you? I know we have, we touch on a lot of different topics here, but do you guys think on your closing? So some say Nana Akufo is gonna sign it. Some say no. But at the end of the day, do you guys think the U.S. is out there, flexing its muscle and trying to force this onto people, especially at least some of these African countries, because they didn't take it to Burkina Faso, and Burkina is next door.
Yeah, no one
Let
wants
me
to
let me go ahead and I'll be out of here. I think I haven't spoken, but
Oh yeah,
I
Judah,
think
go ahead.
oh yes, I want to say hi to my guy Mike on this panel. But what Ghana did was, if they actually signed that law and then it's gonna be chaotic on their own path. The best way for them to do is just not to sign it and keep having the goodies that is coming from America and stuff. The moment African countries, especially the Black Sub-Saharans, the time that they are gonna be independent is when they can actually do laws for their own people. But right now, as we speak, even Nigerian, all these countries, they are being indirectly controlled by the Europeans and Americans and stuff like that. That's why they cannot actually do laws for their own people to suit them. So the best advantage is to work on the on the American wagon and keep doing what they ask you to do. So,
But Judah, before you leave, so Judah, you still stand by that? The LGBT, letting some of them be gay would help. It's good to help control the population.
Of course. I'm talking about now in this. Let me finish. I'm talking about now in this point in time when Africans are facing a lot of disease spread all over the place. Africans right now, most European countries are chasing away Africans refugees because they are a burden on the European economy. Even in America, you go to Canada, I was seeing where Africans are now homeless on Canadian street in the middle of the city in the middle of winter. So this is absolutely ridiculous to keep increasing the population while you cannot maintain control over it. So if Africans cannot come to their right senses and say this is the best time for birth control, this is the best time to stop it, and then they are out of their senses. A statistics came up a few months ago where Nigerians female high school kids cannot even graduate high school. Most of them tend to drop out because of pregnancy and all of that, early pregnancies because of, and you see the increase of population and stuff, and we think these things is normal. Come on, man. Let's be sincere. It's not normal.
Somebody said you did say you support it.
Let me finish. That's why I like all this gay stuff. Let me finish.
Zongo, let him finish. Zongo, let him finish so we hear what he gotta say. Go ahead.
What is your name again, Afridamos? Are these people gonna let me talk? They were rampant, they were rambling all over, talking about all this bullshit. I was staying quiet, and as a guy who normally talks a lot on this panel, I just, stay now and observe this guy speaks, But this is the thing, right? It's not only gay stuff that is they use religion, they use vaccines and all of these things. Do you know that there was a few years ago, and not even few years in Israel? Did you know that Ethiopians they were doing vaccines on Ethiopians, telling them that it was some kind of a vaccine to for disease, but end up finding out that it was a birth control vaccine, stopping them from multiplying in Israel.
Right.
Did you know that? Why?
Yeah.
Do you blame Israel for it? No, you don't blame Israel for it, because black people are known for rampant, overproduction and stuff. Even in America, where you live at, you kind of know that blacks in America give birth to like 5, 7. They have 6, 7, 8 baby mamas, and all over the place with 8, 10 kids and all. So I mean, it's a disease for Africans. So
you don't have
the
the
moment,
data.
let
You
me
don't have
finish.
the data
Let me
to back
finish.
it up.
The moment we start seeing that overpopulation is a disease, then the moment we can actually start controlling it. But if we don't see overpopulation as a disease, then we're still gonna be having all these problems of food insecurity, high people leaving the African continent to Europe and all these things. I'm gonna end it right there because there are people on the panel to also speak. Thank you, Afridemos, and thank your panelists as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Judah. Thank you. All right. Go ahead, Zongo. Zongo,
Yeah,
look like you wanted to.
Yeah, man, Jude is just
can
speaking
come
with
later.
emotions.
Zongo, let me go. You can come
Okay,
later.
go ahead, Kefaru.
Yeah, well, I don't want to comment on Jude's ideology because
Well,
it's
Jude
just
said he supports it, so it's good.
yeah. I hope he gets married to a man one day. So
Hey, after that was a lot of the chat says I'm looking like Zaysty. I'm like,
yeah.
why would they even think that way? They're crazy.
Yeah, so they just forget about the comment section that are just crazy people. This is the thing. I think.
Oh, man, Kifaru, why are they calling it Kifrudi?
I don't know.
They say I look zesty, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what Puff Daddy did to them, but that's their issue. I think this is the thing. Yeah. I think all this we cannot agree that it boils down to the disrespect of the African,
Right.
Because we don't see these people going to some other countries that are even doing worse than African countries. They do respect them. It's not that these people are rich, even the poor ones in the Middle East, they don't go there and preach this thing. But they target Africa because they see us as weak. So why do they target us? Why are we the ones that have to suffer for this? I think because we have so many handouts from these people. The government just go and take handout from them, and they think just because they give us money, they can introduce their lifestyle to us. So we Africans, we need to start to figure things among ourselves, and we need to start doing economies, business within the continent. So I think if we kind of relax, ourselves, cut ourselves a little bit from this Western dominance of our economy, it's going to reduce, all this influence. Then again, I just want to talk about this LGBT thing. As we all said on the panel, when we were growing up, we had different kind of female. They behave like female. They love female. They paint their lips. They dance like female. But in no way did we see them as immoral or coming to change the morality of a society. But I think it's getting worse now because we're having this rhetoric from the Western people trying to implement these things. So if there are gay people over there and you think it's been so harsh on you in Africa, I think you need to bring your discussion within the African culture and sit down and let's talk it as African people and see how we can fit you into society. Don't bring Western people because that pisses people off. Thank you.
Thank you, Kifaru. All right. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, whoever is saying Africa is overpopulated and somehow people we need to control population and crap, that's a lie, man. Africa is actually underpopulated. Population of India is 1.4 billion. Population of China and Africa is like over 10 times bigger than India. Population of China is about 1.4 billion. The entire Africa is not even up to 1.2 billion. So we're not that many. So population is not a problem with Africa. I think
before I go, like why they don't even want to force it on the people like Afghanistan and all those places. There's a documentary. Check it out. You know, the U.S. was there for a while. This is not on the. Some of these places we think are tough. You do realize they have a lot of undercover LGBT action going on. Over in Afghanistan, they have like this culture where they can, have this action with
Yeah,
little
I've seen
boys.
cases of people being executed, young boys being executed for being gay, and I've seen it around.
But some of the people, the adults practice it with them. It's like a whole.
To me, I think what we should focus on in Africa is if you're going to make law against immorality, let's make laws against immorality in general. You understand? Like it was always an African thing where we don't tolerate immorality, especially sexual immorality. You understand? Even by the time I was even growing up, I remember like it was almost like complete taboo to hold that for a male and female to hold hand in public. Like people don't look at you like, come on, why you guys say that? It's like you remember
PDA, public display of affection.
Yeah, public display of anything sexual. It was kind of like against the African culture, It was like it was something shameful when they found out that you're already having sex and you're not married. And it was kind of like that's the way we were. But we started accepting this Western culture. We started accepting a bunch of Western culture where today, I mean, all the girls in high school in Nigeria, that's my boyfriend, they're kissing in public, they're doing it. It's like we're becoming westernized. So it's getting to a point where we now, we've accepted the Western culture to a point where the ones that we, it's like we really cannot, what's the word? Stand to, like the one that's really very irritating, like the homosexual one. Everyone was like, oh no, we don't want. Just make a law against. Just go back to being African and make rules against sexual immorality, and let's go back to being these people that we don't have to worry about all this madness, and hypersexual behavior and all those kind of things. To me, I think that's what the African people should do, because to me, those gay people, I think they're born like that. I'm sorry to say, or if someone can convince me otherwise, that maybe it's. Because I tend not to agree with KBN saying someone just decided to be like that. I don't think any normal person would just wake up and like, I want to, because that stuff it's just kind of, I can't imagine. Like sometimes I always wonder, like, how do you do that? How do you like feel attracted to another man? That stuff is just weird. So I worked with gay people, in America, in corporate America, you have to work with gay people. After working with a bunch of them, I interacted with them, I realized that these people here, I don't think they're just stupid or they decide to do this. These people were born like that, dude. Because if you interact with these people, Africa must trust me. If you interact with enough gay people, you realize that these people are actually, some of them are very intelligent, highly intelligent.
Oh, of course. Well, it's not, no one is questioning if somebody is intelligent. Obviously, for them to take over, it proves that. So
So I was like, I don't think this man, this educated smart can just decide to be gay. I think this guy was born like that. But the only thing I can say is that behavior, I really don't like that behavior being displayed in public. That's my only issue with it. If someone is born like that, hey, live yourself, live your life. But what I don't want to say in Africa is what I see in America today, where we go to the swimming pool, two guys are just kissing each other in the swimming pool, and I don't want to be seeing that in Africa. So what the Africans should do is just make law against public display of those kind of behavior.
Well, you gotta make up your mind, Mike.
No, you that's where we were before, but nobody was bothered by people being okay. We talked about those kids that walk like women in the neighborhood, they're angry girls all day. I mean, they're all gay, man, but it didn't bother me, man, because they were not. You know what I'm saying? But those kids were not kissing each other. It's not like the two boys were kissing each other. So I never suspected they were gay. I just thought they just act like girls, But what I'm saying is just make it, if we can keep it like that, like, hey, those guys, we know they're whatever, but as long as it's the law, like, hey, you cannot start dressing like a girl now in public and start kissing each other in public. If you make that kind of law, that would make sense. But
that's what Ghana is doing, and Uganda.
No. They're making law that if you're found to be gay, you go to prison. I mean,
no. That's not what they're saying. Go read it. That's not what it says.
I haven't read it, but
you gotta read it. So if you read it, so that means you support it, because what you're saying. That's what it says.
So what is it?
You can't be dressed just like you said, dressing like cross-dressing. Guys going around, kissing, acting like.
Oh, so the law is against the activity, not like people actually being.
Yeah. It's not like somebody's just can come and be like, "Oh, Mike is gay," and that's not what it is.
Don't say Mike, man. Why you gotta say Mike? Say Zungu or something. Zungu. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a misplaced. I mean, to me, it's just you make your country look so terrible because I mean if you as an American, they just look at you like that's a barbaric thing to do. Why can't you sentence a human being to prison for being even if it's a mental disorder?
Mike, think about in America, it's a felony. They send you to prison for having more than one wife. Imagine
that's I was
exactly. I mean, like imagine to an African person, like you know, for me, like when I first came here and I heard that law, I'm like,
even me, I was like, this is my grandfather asked his wife. So I'm like, what the? I mean, like,
yeah. You know, so I'm just saying every so 1 minute, like the United States, they get to decide. I mean, sure they can do that because they got the power, they got the money. What can you do, right?
And that's my problem with America.
But the hypocrisy, right?
The hypocrisy and the arrogance.
Yeah. So that's why you gotta stand on your square and you know, like fine, the person got the power, but you know what's funny? You have to hold on to your morals and principles.
Yeah. The funny thing was that the same United States many years ago, you couldn't be gay like that. People gonna, you know, so but a different society didn't come over here and say, okay, hey, you gotta do this like this, you know. You can't go force people. Let society evolve on their own pace. You don't go to another society and start telling them the way they gotta be. Let them evolve at their own pace. Everybody evolve, you know, let them handle their own problem. You don't go there and start telling you I'll put sanction on you if you don't. I mean, you know, come on, man. The arrogance is just too much, man. You know?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. All right. We got St. James.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you something over here, man. So you hit the nail on the head, man. Like, listen, you gotta stand on your square. For me, right? I don't care about who's stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like us in Africa, like, listen, we gotta hold on to something. We got countries, we got cultures, we got whatever anybody else is saying is whatever to us, man. Listen, don't let those not all of them. Like some people come to West Africa telling you, listen, this is what you gotta do, and this becomes a topic of conversation for the whole country to see. This is embarrassing because if you go back, like Mike said, we go back to the old ways, we didn't have no issues. So we tend to keep it that. Let's keep it that way. You know, so Kamala Harris coming to Ghana doing this thing. The first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, is she like half Indian? And the answer was yes, right? I'm like, why you don't go to India? You will never go to
the Indians. When it comes to mob justice, they are.
Oh my God!
They will set you on fire.
They will do bad things to her, man. Like, so I'm looking at Africa.
Well, remember when they sent Obama to Kenya and Senegal. You see, he didn't cross over to come to Gambia because you know, Jammeh was like he didn't want to have that conversation. He said he don't care. You can do it in your country, but if you come over where he is, you do it over there.
Yeah. So you see this white Westerner know who to send, right? Now they're sending the people that look like you first, right?
Well, even now we gotta wake up in Africans, because I've done that too.
Yeah.
Like I've seen even like they do it like the Americans, you know, the UK. So they are using Africans, for example, that are born and raised diasporan Africans to go and push this. Remember the Kenyan guy that was CNN. He was pushing that, you know, Sam George, all those, you know, the Kenyans online were furious. They disowned him. They said, you are no longer Kenyan, stay where you are.
Unfortunately, some of our people will be used to come back and destroy our civilization in Africa. Whether you like it or not, the history will tell. You know, even if you look at in America, you see a lot of people talking about, I can't go to Africa because these people are still savages. They want to say people. It's like that, you know, because, and why Obama was sent? Why Bill Clinton never went there? Why George Bush never did that? Why Clinton never did that?
Well, you have to remember, in American politics is, especially this leftist, is based in identity. So in their head, they're like, look, we already got the blacks on board to accept identity as the thing. even here, like in America, sometimes when you meet some these liberals and they don't even understand to understand why you are not on the program. You're black. You're supposed to be. So I think because they are so much out of touch with reality, so they have like some of their like black minions who like many have swallowed like that program. So now they are like, okay, it succeeded here, so they come to Africa and bring the same type of approach. So yes, Africans were excited about Obama being elected, but you see when Obama started that kind of talk, they quickly just even here in America, to be honest, even the blacks dropped it.
They didn't
like it. So he went to, so they sent him to Africa. I guess he thought the hype. He thought he believed his own hype. You see,
Afrodamus.
So
I want Africa to even fight the thought of somebody thinking that you're weak. Not even if you're weak, right? You can say you're weak. I want Africa to even fight the thought of somebody thinking that you're weak. Fight that first. Present something so that guy those people can fear you a little bit. Africans don't even present that front to them. I'm like, dude, you can speak back. You can talk back. You can pretend. Do something. This African will fold and let anybody come to their country and talk all this nonsense. I've seen journalists in East Africa talking about this stuff, and while it is a crime, I'm like, why are you letting these people even bring in the issue? Tell them this is not something that we discussed. We already made a decision about it. It's take a leave. Take a leave.
But do you think because as more and more Africans even living in the diaspora in the West, more and more, do you think the next wave, because now people are slowly catching on to them sending people that look like us, for instance? Well, so far the ones I've seen have not received good reception. Even Obama in Kenya, when he opened his mouth and said what he said, he didn't get the answer that the answer he got, he didn't like it. The Kenyan guy that was interviewing Sam George cooked him and spit him, chewed him and spit him out, and the Kenyans online set him on fire. You see. And there was like a young lady, I think she's from the UK, but I can tell she's like African, but from the UK. They sent her to go ask, Kagame some dumb questions, and Kagame called her out. So, I don't know, like Kamala, she got sent to Ghana. I don't know why, but Africans must know she is not black. She is not African. She ain't no black.
She pulled that trick on black Americans, and they didn't even stand up for it. That's the part that sometimes, when I talk about black Americans, it's like, I know it's not all of them. I'm not gonna put them, in one basket. But I'm like,
the bullet class.
Why someone can? That's why we got tribes in Africa. That's because of that. Somebody can come out of the blue like, oh, I'm black. Okay, what?
Like Richard Dolezal.
I'm black.
Yeah, she tricked the blacks though, because in 2018, the news clip is out there. 2018, I think that was when she first got elected. It said that she is the first Indian, first Indian that became senator elected. She was Indian back then, and then by 2020.
She's on the breakfast club talking about, I got what, 2-pack CDs or whatever CDs she had, and these people are sitting there taking it. That's why I'm like,
she makes fun of black people, and black people are not even getting it, because what she's pushing, she's saying that she pretends that she's all about rap, smoking weed, and partying. And nobody and people, and people don't even call her out on it.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. You see that commercial where Joe Biden sitting with the black kids or whatever, the black family or whatever.
Is that going on right now?
I think I saw the clip. Like he was sitting around black people on the table talking about.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I'm like, man, listen, man. How much is too much for people, man? Like, come on, man. Seriously, you talking about culture? You talking about? Come on, no. Let's be honest, man. That's a little too much. Like, yo,
honestly, with like my observation, like these people, they just want to play God. They want to, socially engineer people's, thinking and like they go far to. It's like they fight you, for you to go against your own nature and culture. Like they come, they impose their way of life on you, and you're like, no. When you reject it, then they call you a hater.
Most Africans that I know will never ever go for this, man. Like the ones even in America, man. I'm proud of many Africans here in America. I'm proud of. When we discuss this topic, everybody's on point. Like this, we're here to make money. This is a taboo for us.
But what do you think about what Judah said, though?
What?
About this being good for population? He wants the population to be.
Mike just debunked that, right? You got China, you got India, man, Africa, man. Leave Africa alone, man. Listen, we don't need that stuff, man. If you leave Africa alone, and we got good program running in Africa, we will be good. We'll be good. Population control for what, man? Go do that to China. Go do that to the Indians, man. They're the ones. You see the Chinese coming here, like every other groups. You see the Chinese coming here through in California. You seen that?
Right.
Oh, come on, man. So
no, definitely. For me, I think Africa is even underpopulated. To be honest, it's just some real, sick people in their head. People like, just because they got lots of money, they think they can play God and control, and somehow their control is always directed towards Africa.
Beside the big city in each countries, if you go to the villages, a lot of spaces, a lot. Beside the bigger, even in the big cities, the capital, it can be crowded, but you still can find space. But if you go to the villages, there's nobody there.
Oh yeah, because people left the village to come to the city. If those cities empty out, you would see. Yeah. It's just the population is concentrated in certain areas, but there's plenty of land for people to spread out in.
A lot. Because these people sit in Europe, right? Sit in Europe and America. They make all these kind of program based on things that don't even reflect Africa reality. And African take it and accept it and run with it. Those kind of programs without even thinking through. These people are trying to set us up for failure. I'm telling you, man. They don't they don't care for us, man. You remember we spoke about it, right? We spoke about. Remember when you had that program? We talk about France, right? And everybody else was like, France is the bigger issue in Francophone Africa. I say, man, the French,
United States.
They have a master.
Yeah,
they have a master, man. So that master is now being vocal on these countries, and you can see it every day. Because what? The French has been kind of put aside in those countries, and they can't maneuver anymore. So the Americans are looking at it like, hey, we need to come help France. So they're
doing good cop, bad cop.
They're playing good cop. Afrodamos, you remember, right? Let me tell you a story. When Traoré took power, right? When everybody was bashing, right? The French were bashing, everybody was bashing. The United States they didn't say anything.
Yeah, they were quiet. You're right. Even Niger, they refused to say it's a coup. So again, it's the good cop, bad cop, because you would see if the United States, for example, truly show their true color.
Yeah.
Even even right now, what they are doing to Uganda, even threatening Ghana and these places, it would make people more, militant towards them. But they are doing it. They are doing it in a soft way. You see, all this talk, Africans never bring up the United States, and people don't realize. Okay, why would the U.S. not go along with NATO and all these people, they're saying this is a coup.
Right.
Why? And they're calling it that. You see what I'm saying?
I believe we guys in the United States, we got to bring the heat up a little bit, man, because the other people, they're not going to do it, because I kind of understand if they don't want to do it. But us in America, we have to step it up a little bit. Me myself, I have to step it up, because I saw a lot of things that happen. I live in America. I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't like what the United States is doing. They're playing both sides on the fence. And it's funny. People are looking at it like, even Anthony Blinken, he went to Africa. First time a Secretary of State is talking about us like, yo, we say doesn't believe our alliance. I'm like, dude, what do you see in there for you not to believe? Why are you even giving your opinion? Nobody asked you for that. Nobody asked you, and he's giving his opinion. So mind you, like, these people will come and try to introduce all kind of things to your people, man. Like, we still nobodies. And we talk about it and say, oh, no, you guys want to be controlled by the West. We don't want to be controlled by nobody. We pick what we like, and we leave what we don't like. How about that?
Right. How about that? Because mostly Africans, especially West Africa, most Africans actually would, they leave you alone. Like, hey, if you are into something, you are into that. If they're not into it, they leave you alone, especially if you're not related to them whatsoever.
Absolutely.
They don't care about what you go do.
The way I look at it, right? I'll give you an example of Ghana. Ghana has strong tie with the United States than Burkina, Mali, and Nigeria, right? We can say that, right? They got strong ties. So how could you let a Secretary of State come to West African zone, talk about an issue that doesn't have anything to do with you? Like, if the Russian come to Burkina, right? Let's say they come to Burkina or Mali or Nigeria, they start talking about Ghana, our people will step up, man. Like, yo, we got you here for us, man. Listen, you can't go to Ghana. You can use us to give your opinion about Ghana. If you are in our territory, talk about us. Let's do business, and you go back home. If you get back home, talk about Ghana, but not in our soil, because these are our people and they have their thing going, and we will respect that. But you let your ally come in your country and they start taking shot at other country. Africans need to stop that. No, I get it. That's your ally, but tell them, hey, listen, you come here, you mind your business. Don't mind the neighbor's business. No. Because it's still Africa. These are our neighbors, these are brothers and sisters. But people will stand there. Akufo will stand there and watch. Any other president will stand there and watch. That's why when we say slavery began with tribes, right? They will go tell this tribe is ready to attack you, and that's how they play the game.
Well, you heard what what's his name said, Sam George. He said, they don't like the president, Ghana president, saying that these people, how can you say these people are your friends? So you want your friend, if they are truly your friend, why does your friend, try to force you to do something that is against your own value? But you're right. They definitely they do that. And I bet that was the plan, to try to create like an animosity between, because if they start talking about Burkina with the Ghanaian president out in the public, and that obviously is gonna put you guys on edge,
Absolutely.
So that's how. So and then they will start talking about, they pass little information talking about these people want to attack you, like they take information here, pass it to this one, pass it to this other one. So it's
like back during slavery, right? This is the same play. This is the same play, and Africans don't fail to see it. And we saw that. That's why people were mad. So when they started talking, people were mad. People were like, yo, United States, we don't even talk about the United States like that in West Africa when it comes to our affairs. Like they kind of stay away from that. But now you can see now they're getting closer, because the French don't even have a leg to stand on. Now they kind of want to take on that role. Like we're like, okay, you know what? We got history. I'm telling the United States, we got history. You got history, and that history hasn't been resolved. So you got to be careful about what you're trying to do. Politically, you might have some wiggling rooms, but the people, when we give the people the right information, it's going to be something. It's going to be way worse than the French. You understand?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
way worse than the French because the
well,
people still don't see it. People still
well,
looking at West, you know.
from what I can see, I don't think, this conversation would cross over into Burkina for discussion in the parliament.
No. Listen, bro. Listen. The person that's gonna bring it to parliament will be here. Like he'll go missing. I guarantee you, he'll go missing. I'm not trying to listen. I'm not pretending that we are something different than other countries, but I'm just telling you based on the what I know. This is not even this cannot even be taken to parliament at this time, bro. It can't be. I don't even know how we're gonna begin the conversation. I don't even see it. I don't see it because that's why sometimes when you bring these topics, I kind of ask myself, how did that? Because I see the president of Uganda talk about it. I'm like, I want to understand the pressure. What kind of pressure or what kind of leverage do they have on him for him to even be unhinged and talking about it? Like you can't sleep at night. I'm like, dude, this is not even a topic for certain people.
Right.
It's not. We got bigger issues, bro. Like in Africa, this is not even a president to take half an hour of his time to talk about this. I'm like this and no, you lost already. You lost already.
That's what
talking
Uhuru
about it as a president, you lost.
told Obama. That's what Uhuru told Obama. He said, "Hey, this is a non-issue here. We got bigger problems here, bigger issues, real ones in Kenya. If you want to talk about that, we're more than happy to have that discussion. But African, their society, they have their own culture, their own traditions and principles, and they plan on continuing to live like that."
Alfredamus, you got to make a show, right? I want you to pose the question like this: why people don't respect Africans' culture? Is it because we're weak, or is because of the fact that Africans don't value their culture? Because I believe for us, we got beautiful cultures in Africa. I grew up in one, and I love it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying at least it gave me the best life I ever imagined. So I can't imagine somebody sitting here telling me, "Oh yeah, your culture is flawed, so therefore you have to take something else." I don't see that.
I took back when I was in the 13th, 14th grade, lifespan psychology. So there's this topic about, how different, the different ways, different techniques of raising kids, so they have different kinds. But all the best one they came up with is the way the European and American way of raising kids. So I wrote a paper because like an 8-page paper with research and and I come I was like, so you guys are saying that you just completely cut out African people, saying the way Africans raise their kid is completely wrong, So I did lots of comparison, and so you have to get up and present that paper, the highlight points. And man, I was laying it out. The teacher's face, her face started getting red. Her face was, her face was getting red because there was, because most other Africans, if they were in those classes, they probably would just go along because they just want to get the points. That's it. Yeah.
That's what I see. Is most not all of them, most Africans, they don't want to discuss certain topic, right? They kind of dude, this is what it is. You always hear this is what it is. What can you do? I can do a lot. That's what I tell them. I can do a lot. So I don't know about you, right? But I can do a lot. The first thing for an African is to speak up. That's what you need to do. Speak up. Don't be quiet. I tell that to a lot of Congolese, man.
St. James, what do you think about what Jackie Sow is saying? Jackie said that is probably what McMill was talking to Ghana president about.
Yeah, man. You need to pass that law, man. So No, man. Listen.
Thank you, St. James, for coming.
Man,
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
Why did he even have to address it though? Like when he got accused, why did he even have to address it? Like he sounds fishy by addressing it.
Who, Mick
You know?
Mill?
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of, honestly, I just got like snippets of it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna, do a little
But
bit
have you
more
seen?
research. To me, P. Diddy, like he's getting accused of all this. Like researching it, even he's too freaky for me.
That's because. Have you seen the interview of his former bodyguard? Right.
Yes.
Oh man, because the bodyguard is giving you details like you can't. Like that's quite a bit. Like for him to, bro, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it's given date, and it's given the way things went down. Like, bro, the guy is bisexual, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, he's bisexual. If you look at him,
that's like Diddy, like, from way back, like you can tell, like what other man calls other man baby? Like what come on, man. Like, sometimes if somebody like that come around me with all shiny lips, like, calling me, if you say baby, I'll be like, oh, man, you better step away from me. Like, what the hell?
you never got more daddy after that.
I don't know why people are all shocked. Like, did he have always kind of been like, like, like
he been around players, man. He been around people that did nasty things to others, man. He learned from the best. For him to go about it for this amount of time without even being detected, it's kind of like, wow, you gotta give that to him.
He's got money and power.
Money and powers, and so that means he's being protected by powerful people, man. Powerful like entities, Because,
obviously, as usual, just like they did to, Bill Cosby, basically the same people in this entertainment industry, what they do is, they get them into this. They know this person is into freaky stuff. So even though you see in videos and like they would push this kind of lifestyle, right? Hollywood, but at the same time, so you would think, because to me, you would think, oh yeah, these people are down for this. But when they are ready to take them down as well, they use, that same thing. They come out, they start, putting it in the air and like, hey, did you know Diddy is a super freak? He is freaky. Like, we're like, okay, but you guys are showing us video about freaky stuff, like,
and you pay for it.
And you pay, like, you're paying for it, like, what's going on?
You pay for it, you put it in the media for us to watch, and you say this is the #1 culture in America. Remember, they say this is the #1 culture. So
yeah,
we gotta discuss that.
I don't know. I don't know who he pissed off, but
after that he pissed nobody off. There is a like a tree, right? They let you climb the tree all the way to the when you get to the top. You gotta come down so somebody else can climb. So he got to that, and they told him, hey, listen, somebody else turn has happened. So that's what Hollywood is like that, man. They will let you have your time, and then they will tell you your replacement is coming. So,
well, you saw, you see, Russell Simmons.
Yeah,
you have
to run the body, right?
Yeah,
But these people, if you dig into it, right, half of what they said is true. It's not.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you are in this industry, I believe that what they do is like. Yes, they understand, like, okay, this guy, like when they see you, right?
Right.
See, they like sexual promiscuity, right? So they would encourage them, make it seem like, hey, yeah, we down. This is cool. But they are, they know this guy is a sexual deviant. He's if they ever present this to the public, you
Yeah.
know, it would
It's gonna go.
completely take them down, right?
Absolutely.
But while they are making money off of them and allowing them to climb, they make it seem like it's normal. Look at even like guy named Harvey Weinstein, all
Oh, yeah,
those
yeah, yeah,
guys,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
for years they were able to do these things. So when they are ready to take them down, the same
Yeah.
things they used to make
Toxic. Yeah.
toxic things, like they would convince other people that this is cool, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's not cool. So that's what
Absolutely.
that's what's happening to
Mhm.
Diddy. So Russell Simmons, he got the memo quick, and you
He
know
took off. Right?
he took off. You know, he took off to Bali because there's no
Extradition treaty. Yeah.
no. Yeah, I don't know. You know, if Diddy is thinking about, you know,
No, I mean the
maybe
kind of lawsuit.
I think they took his passport or something.
Yeah, the lawsuit is facing. I haven't seen. Well, I mean, there's a last time I saw there was a guy that was like his ex producer or whatever. I haven't got into something that would make me think he's in big trouble. Like, listen, but it's gonna happen. Like the Pandora box is open, so everybody will chime in, and you know, everybody will bring up old memories about him. Oh, I went to a party in 1976.
Yeah.
And Diddy was in short. And that's what I tell American, right? The lifestyle that you guys are having. You remember we spoke about it. I told you, fashion and culture, we got to separate the two. Separate fashion and culture. I know Black American used to say this is culture. I'm like, yeah, it's fashion a little bit, you know, like yeah.
Well, that's what
You know,
again. That's what you know is presented. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought? Like, look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly
Yeah.
sings about freaky stuff, like, you know,
And people
everybody
bought the
loves it.
CDs.
But now look at it, like, you know, all of a sudden now most people, even when you talk about R. Kelly, they are disgusted by him. You know,
Epidemics.
so the
I
same
listen.
people that loved, you know, forced, you know, people basically changed people's mind, saying this is okay, right?
Right.
They turn around and
And
use
hit you.
R. Kelly's, you know, freaky ways
Yeah.
against him because they know, like, hey, this guy is a freak.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
And he said he's a freak, right? He said himself, they say, oh,
He
how
did.
can if you put that in your song, this is gonna sell because the culture like it. So he put it for his culture. That's what they say. I represent my culture. So you know my culture like it. If I'm a freak, I'm good and bad, I can do this. My culture like it. So they paid him to do it. And now they're taking him down for the things they said he should do to make money. So you gotta understand this is easy to comprehend. If you can't, like that's fine. I lived in Chicago, right? Afro-Diamonds. I didn't even know I know R. Kelly through his music. In Chicago, everybody that live on the south side or whatever knew R. Kelly was a freak. There is a McDonald's in the middle of Chicago. R. Kelly as a star. He used to go to that McDonald's. I don't know, people say the McDonald's has something to do with his childhood while he was growing up because he didn't have no food. He used to go to that McDonald's to get some food. R. Kelly used to go park there on Saturday with his car, a foreign car, whatever. This guy is pulling girl in front of everybody. You know, all the girls wanted to get in his car.
Yeah.
He would take three girls, four girls, bodyguard will take a few, and they will take off.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
R.
And
Kelly
then they're gonna just like they did, they're gonna turn right back around, you know, and just like even this LGBTQ thing they are doing right now. Yes, they make it trendy. There's a lot of people hop on that bandwagon. I mean, they should look at even Meek Mill and Diddy, all this. Now they are doing, you know, the moonwalk, you know, backsliding from it. You know, so like nobody's saying, oh, but I thought you guys said, you know, it's normal to do this. But look at it. Now, these men have, you know, they're like Meek Mill, they're having to try to defend themselves. So this is going to happen to a lot of these guys who have attended these parties and they got their tapes. Yeah, they're gonna, you know, Meek Mill also, you know, like his name got thrown out there. I mean, he better go visit Russell Simmons and let him, you know, say, hey, do you got a spot for me? Yeah, because once the lawsuits they start rolling in, I mean, they're not stopping it.
Lawyers love that, man. You got to put $1 million first before they even take their appointment.
Right.
So then you got to make money. So, and they know because it's easy. The system is they will tell the lawyer, hey man, drain the guy before you even go to court. So you will lose all your money through a lawyer before you even go to court. So therefore, then you have to settle.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, the thing is, what they do is just like he settled with that woman, Diddy, right?
Yeah.
So the public, because if it's cheaper for him to settle for the type of money he had, but people are gonna see that straight as being guilty. They're not realizing, no, this guy is making a financial decision. He can keep fighting this, and also he wants to save, his reputation. But that right there open up, Pandora's box. So
let me give you my opinion on that, because I saw a guy that you know very well. He was on the side of Diddy on that topic, right? He made a video. He was discussing it. He said the lady was, she called the lady whatever, right? I'm not here to call names. I'm not even here to say she's right, she's wrong, right? But you know why Diddy settle on that one?
Why?
She wasn't talking about only her and Diddy. She was talking about other people. Diddy is not dumb. Diddy know if he doesn't settle, this will go to discovery, and this women has to go dig some phone numbers, get some pictures of hotel. Oh, Diddy doesn't want this one, because Diddy can go out and say this. She was my girlfriend. She was a willing partner. We did whatever. Nobody can blame Diddy on that, because everybody saw it. They were together for a long time. So we can say this lady is a liar or not a liar, because we don't know, because she was the girlfriend. But when she said she was sending for male stripper, doing this, Diddy was like, no, this evidence can be brought to court. You see what I'm saying? This can be brought to court, because the lady may have saved some number, may have saved certain things. It's like, oh, listen, this is what we did at this hotel. Let's go and pull the tapes. Diddy didn't want that one. Between her and Diddy, she was like, Diddy would be like, yeah, man, you can sue and we can go. But the third party she brought in, she was very clever. The third party she brought in made the case for her. She was like, don't do it.
Well, the thing is, like, again, they use this against these guys. Like R. Kelly hanging out at the McDonald's. You're a grown man. Like, I don't care how sentimental it is. Like, you hanging out at the McDonald's. I mean, come on, bro. Like, I mean, they, like, they've seen you into Aliyah. People that are Aliyah's age, like teenagers are the ones that go to those places. You're a big star, and you hanging around there. I mean, what do you expect?
Because that's like the easy target. He used that McDonald's because you can say, hey, listen, I got some memories about that McDonald's, but this was the easy target, because most of the girls that knew about that, they would go and hang around there on Saturday and wait for him. So he was picking them like candies, man. Like,
man, so James, now I gotta do a full show on this. This is interesting.
I always tell my Black American folks, man, don't mix culture and fashion. Don't mix culture and certain things. Culture is different. Music can be rolled up into something that you guys don't want to talk about. That's why in Africa, when we say culture, we don't kind of include music in there like that.
No.
Now, because we should talk about traditional music, then we talk about culture, bringing the village lifestyle and certain things, yes. But a young guy in Africa living in Banjul talk about rap and what? No. No.
No, that's just entertainment. But thank you, St. James. I think today I will close out with the stanky leg. Thank you, St. James.
I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's show. I hope the discussion was, fruitful and edutaining enough. I mean, sure, everyone's viewpoint here, is valid. It's possible that, they just want to have, to bring this into the psyche of the people there. But, the panel, definitely most of you, all of you, your points are valid. And let's just keep having the conversation. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, I'm out.